The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Sometimes when a tree falls in the woods, a limb will get buried deep in the ground, and making it very difficult to remove that limb from the ground. The other day at work, we were cutting up a tree, and we came across such a limb. I watched one of my employees try to pull this limb from the ground. Could not budge it, so I walked over to him in the mood to show off a little bit. And as I grabbed a hold of this tree, he looked at me and said, like pulling the sword from the stone. Well, now it became a matter of pride that I was going to get this limb out of the ground. My first attempt failed. I bear hugged this limb that was sticking 3 feet out of the ground and ripped it from the ground. It was wedged in the ground 2 feet. I proceeded to hand this gentleman this limb and said, "That is why I am the boss." Why am I telling all you this? Because sometimes I like to brag too. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You are listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 449 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau, also at the Casa de Zero. The Lair of the Gods, where he likes to brag every once in a while. And also, we are joined from a fifth location, and that is our boy Arkham Josh's other job as a telemarketer. It's nice of you to take a break,
Hello,
Josh.
guys. I'm going to be pretending to work this whole time.
And tell me, is your aluminum siding working on your house?
Well, yes, sir. Our insurance rates are comparable to yours.
Oh, shit. So, yes, we are joined by our good buddy, Arkham Josh. Josh, it's been way too long, my friend. It's great to see you. I know it's virtually, but still, it's good to see you, man.
Oh, you too. I've definitely missed visiting with you guys, and I guess this is as good as it can get right now.
For now, yes, absolutely. But, there's hope, right, Raven Shadow? Hope for the future?
I mean, it's fucking dwindling, right? I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a lot of it, but, I mean, it's there, right?
Wow, you should be a motivational speaker.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Why don't we'll all meet up in Texas. Everything's open. You don't have to wear masks.
We can even do Mississippi. That's also fine. It's a little closer, right?
It's closer.
Unfucking believable. Hey, things are getting better. Let's fucking just throw everything out the window.
Yep.
Hey,
You never know it, but
snow's gone.
Yeah, Raven Shot, what do you think? You got some nice weather lately, huh?
Oh, I fucking think. I meant like Texas because they fucking had a hot time beforehand. But no, it's been nice. I was watching the fucking Lloyd Doppler radar. That fucking thing.
Lloyd Doppler radar.
Yeah, did you ever hear that? The Lloyd Doppler. There's like a European model, which I do enjoy the European models. But according to the American one, it's be sunny for a week, so it's nice. I don't got to shovel anything. I don't got to worry about other things. Just sunny, cold and sunny. You don't shovel either of those things.
It got up to 58 degrees yesterday, I think. Here, it was nice.
wow.
Yeah. I think all the plastic I'm burning in the fire pit's really making a difference.
Yeah, exactly. So before we get too much further into anything, I'm going to let folks know what we're up to this evening. We are going to be talking about the film Promising Young Woman. I've been pretty anxious to talk about this one since I saw the movie, and I'm eager to see what everyone thinks of it. So that'll be coming up in a little bit. And then, of course, if you have sent in a voice message, or if you haven't, there's still time to. We're going to be playing voice messages. By the way, I really hope Arkham Josh calls in tonight. I love hearing from that dude.
I don't think he's gonna.
So that's what's up for tonight. Looking forward to talking about the movie. And so, Josh, what's
Yes.
I know we hear from you, somewhat frequently, but what's been going on in your neck of the woods? I know you've been doing a little bit more with the records and stuff like that. But how have things been?
I mean, things have been good, but there's really nothing going on. I have been selling a lot more records online. It's actually where I'm sitting right now. This is where I do all my packing and printing of labels. Nice. Yeah. But other than that, there's really not much going on. I mean, the only other thing is, a few months back, as you guys know, we sold our house and bought a new one because the market is very interesting here right now. So. Yep. Yeah.
Would you say you guys? I assume it was a good move, right, for you guys?
Oh yeah. We had a multifamily in Providence that we were able to sell and then buy a single family in Warwick outright.
There you go.
Nice.
All right, upgrade definitely.
Yes.
And Warwick's probably a slightly better place to live. Maybe. I guess it depends on where.
It's no worse.
Yeah.
A ringing endorsement for Warwick, Rhode Island.
I mean,
Come visit. Yeah.
They're gonna put that on the box.
Yeah.
Warwick, Rhode Island.
It's no worse.
It's no worse than Providence.
I'm definitely more of a city person, and we're in a little bit more of a suburban area, but I'm literally a 10-minute drive to Providence, so yeah, it's not that bad.
Warwick, just a 10-minute drive to Providence.
Isn't that where our good buddy Dr. Joey Tron lives, Raven Shadow? Is it Warwick or West Warwick? I always get him confused.
It's hard because I just associate Providence and Rhode Island, so I always say, Tron's from Providence. He's not. He was from Coventry.
That's the state. In his eyes, that's the state.
Yeah. Everybody in the state lives in Providence. I understand. Yeah. Just like everybody in Massachusetts lives in Boston.
Exactly. Thank you, Josh. And you round to the nearest, place people fucking know. But he loves fucking coffee milk. What can I tell you?
He does love coffee milk.
He does. I love Buddy Cianci too, the first politician. Pasta sauce, right?
Cianci sauce.
Cianci sauce.
Remember
right.
Cianci sauce?
Maybe some alleged mob ties. I mean, we don't know. We don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But he invented the water fire. Club Baby Head.
He invented the water
fire. I don't think he invented Club Babyhead. I think that just kind of happened around him. But I will say, overall, Cianci was very friendly to the music scene as a industry, both homegrown and tourist wise. And I think that's what you get when you get a politician who started as a concert promoter.
There you go.
Oh man, Cianci sauce. I haven't even thought about that in a good 20 years, probably.
Man, I think about it every day.
Is that a Star Wars mug there, Josh?
It is.
Nice. Representing.
Yeah, and it's probably about the size of 2 regular mugs, so I figured this would last me for the show.
Aries wants to put some whiskey in it.
Yeah, that'd be the whiskey until break.
Yeah, until break. Well, I'm glad.
I'm filling the Mars role tonight. Cardigan.
Yeah.
Star Wars. There we go.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, just stay dressed, please.
I will.
Yeah, that's all you got to do to differentiate yourself is keep your clothes on. It's a very low bar to reach. By the way, Mars is watching, and he said, "Who is that handsome guy?" And he's not talking about MZ.
You sure? I mean, he might be talking about that faraway shot of Raven Shadow.
Yes, right. From the Hubble, that guy looks fucking good. I'll tell you that much. You get me satellite photos. I'm a handsome fucking devil. That's why.
Yeah, we had to. That's not a camera. It's the Hubble telescope in your office there, Raven Shadow.
True. But no, I think the Josh thing. I think that the short on the sides is a nice innovation. I like that. You got a little S curl. I'm seriously like for real. I'm all man, but listen, I like what you're doing there.
What?
He's got a little S curl. Like I think that's the good cut for you. I like that cut.
Oh, like Superman curl.
I'll keep that in mind.
He's got
Cowlick.
Yeah.
But but he has the short on the sides with the long on top.
Yep.
I like it.
So Josh is
That's what I got.
Josh is the new Superman. Is that what you're saying, right?
Could be the new Superman.
Yeah, I'll take that role.
Speaking of which, Raven Shadow, have you seen the new Lois and Clark?
Thank you. It's actually Superman and Lois.
Oh,
but
sorry, whatever.
Took it, producer. No, I did. I watched the pilot on the CW.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure. I did stop fucking Man of Steel.
What'd you think? What'd you think?
I thought I marked out hard, brother. I did.
I heard some good things about it.
It's really good. I mean, it for those who may not know, this is the version that was introduced in the Supergirl show on the CW. So it's part of that world. And I watched a couple. And
I don't know why I just thought of someone chanting EC-dub, EC-dub on the C-dub.
C-dub.
C-dub, C-dub, C-dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that racist frog.
No, wowzers. We don't see him a lot more, do we? He's no more
WB.
We're not racist. Yeah, no. But no, it's nice. It's an hour and a half pilot, and it takes him. He looks actually bigger in the show. I don't know if it's better costume or maybe he just was hitting the gym, but he's cool and basically deals with him raising his two kids. So it's weird. So in the comics, Lois and Clark have a son, Jonathan, proper. After the events of the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, Clark had two sons. So now things happen where the kids are getting older and then maybe they're developing powers, maybe they're not, but great production values. He actually used his heat vision and laser and super breath in conjunction, which I feel that they forget he can do that at times. There was a nice introduction of a character with an L last name that may or may not be who we think he is. They're setting the
Is
stage.
your boy Michael Rosenbaum in it?
Here's the thing, John. Here's the fucking thing about that. It actually could fit in with being a spiritual successor to Smallville. All that's missing is TV's Tom Welling and the Rosie reprising their roles, along with the remarkably superior Erica Durance as TV.
Rosie? I don't remember Rosie O'Donnell being on that show.
She
played
really
Lois,
good,
right?
Yeah. But no, have you seen Aries? I think you'd mark out, brother.
I have not seen it.
There's a nice nod to action.
Wait, is Ares a Clark sucker too?
Yeah, I mean not as much. He's more like the tip, but
Okay.
no, we both love the S, don't we, Aries?
I am a big Superman fan.
Yeah. So we both have handle a Clark.
Handle a Clark or two.
Yeah, Clark or two. We watched the Lois and the Clark back in the day. We watched the Smallville. We enjoyed that together. Those are memories. It's a great fucking intro.
All right.
You're killing MZ. You're killing him right off the top with Superman talk.
I'm fucking trying too, by the way.
All right, so WandaVision.
One more episode. You excited?
I'm excited and disappointed because I thought there was 2 more.
Oh, I got you. I thought there was 10.
Yeah.
Raven Chow, you've been watching, right?
Oh, brother, yeah. I got you to watch it.
You kind of did, yeah. Yeah, I'm caught up. I'll watch the new one tomorrow.
Oh, I know. And I was thinking about how we talked about that
Yeah.
one day from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you remember that, huh?
Remember that time you, me, and Rocky talked on a Monday and it was so nice?
You're like, that was cool. You and me talked on a Tuesday this week.
We did talk on a Tuesday.
We talked on a Tuesday to troubleshoot the fucking issues from last week. Why don't you tell people what was wrong?
It was Troubleshooting Tuesdays. I like that.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what's wrong. What was wrong?
No, we just kind of unplugged something and flipped something on a better side, so it wasn't hanging precariously like Stallone and Cliffhanger.
He sent me a picture. So there's a headphone splitter that comes off the mixer. So when you guys are all in studio, you can all have headphones. And he sent me a picture of the back of it, and like it was like all tangled to hell. And so like you move one, and like it's gonna like pull. It's like a cat's cradle, right? Where like you pull one, it's gonna pull all of them. So I have a feeling that's what it was, because we've been good since then. Raven Shadow and I kept the connection going for about 2 hours. We came back, tested, still sounded fine. Raven Shadow got all excited when I was like yelling at him today. Well, not yelling at you, but I was talking, and you could hear me in the other room through the headphones. So you got excited.
I heard those dulcet tones from the kitchen with my headphones, and I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." That was awesome. Then we talked, and then we I feel like we troubleshooted, but yet we still, not only did we get the connection right, but I still feel there was a connection, and I think that's what was special about
between you and I.
Yeah, we have things in common.
We do. So that was good, and MZ's not feeling so hot. You all right, buddy? You gonna make it?
No, I think it passed. It started like maybe it started,
passed or you passed it.
Yeah, you passed it.
I think I passed it. It started about 10 of 8 around then, and I'm like, fuck, now what's the problem? And I got a lot of problems.
Yeah, you do.
Physical. No, not mental problems. We already know that. No, physical problems, and it's just a real big pain in the ass, figuratively and literally. And no, I think I'm fine now.
Okay, just so you had to evacuate.
In a matter of speaking, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, buddy.
The first transport's away.
Yeah,
Yay!
first transport's away. The next transport's away.
It was like shooting Spock out into space, at the end of part 3.
I meant to mention
Part 2.
just real quick to go back to Superman. This will be quick. So the dude who plays Superman, Tyler Hoechlin, is that how you say it?
I believe so.
Hoechlin. Well, anyways, he was in a movie called Bigger, which came out a couple years back, and he played Joe Weider, who was like the one who created the Olympia, the bodybuilding competition.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the movie, he had to get kind of big because he played Joe Weider, who was a bodybuilder and then got into promoting. So that could be why he put on some mass for that. So
interesting. So yeah, real quick, he's good, and it emphasizes more the man than the Superman. And once again, it was only the pilot. He did definitely some super heroic shit, but you saw like his struggles and stuff, and it was the best part of the S.
Oh, so it was like Randy from oh shit, what's the name of that movie? Randy.
You mean from Randy from fucking oh my lord, the fucking holy shit.
Randy and the Redwoods?
How do we forget the name of the movie? That was one of our favorite movies, the with the Mexican wrestler.
Oh my god.
Oh, was it Low Life?
Low Life, yeah. Randy, so like Randy from Low Life. You don't know his struggles, man.
I mean, I think the Man of Steel had a different journey than Randy.
He didn't have a hate symbol tattooed on his face.
Tattooed on his face. Imagine Superman having a swastika tattoo on his face.
And have a train run on him by a fucking Elgatos, like.
Oh my god! This is an Elseworlds. Let's get Jim Lee on the horn.
Nightmarish.
That is
fucking nightmarish.
It's really dark. That's really weird. Superman's like space pause. That'd be terrible. When all the guards have night, that'd be bad. Don't do that.
No, don't do that. Also in that movie, MZ, in that movie Bigger, fucking Steve Guttenberg is in it.
Mahoney.
Mahoney, yeah, Steve Guttenberg is in it.
Really? No
He
kidding.
he played. I think he played the dad, Joe Weider's dad, Louis Weider.
Huh. Going back to the casting of Joe Weider.
Yep.
I mean, I would think that you would have to downsize yourself to play Superman after playing Joe Weider. I mean, Weider was like a hulking. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was like a real hulking mass of muscle, and Superman is simply not that.
Well,
it all depends on who draws him.
yeah, true.
But I mean, Clark is swole, but I mean, he's not like Scott Steiner, right? Or like
That's ridiculous. You know, because I mean, whatever he would have flexed, I mean, the muscle. I mean, I don't give a shit if his suit is made out of his baby blanket from Krypton. That his muscles are gonna break through that shit.
And Joe Weider was in good shape for sure. Like he was a bodybuilder. But I think that I think that Tyler Hoechlin probably wasn't quite as big as he was, but he did get in really good shape. Like Weider wasn't like Arnold, like
right.
Arnold like brought in the new, and there was actually a dude who played Arnold in the movie that was actually pretty good. Like he looked the part pretty well. So yeah, so there you go. Enough. I never thought I'd talk about that movie on the show, but there you go. It's also got Robert Forster in it. I forgot about that.
Ooh, nice.
And Tom Arnold.
Oh Jesus! Oh, there goes the stock on that film.
Yeah, I know, right? MZ was interested.
Now, speaking of people playing people from the past, I caught a couple episodes of Young Rock.
Oh yeah,
and they have people playing old wrestlers, and some of them are spot on. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Some are kind of iffy, like the guy playing Andre. It's tough to find someone that looks like Andre, but
where
he's
you
decent
find
enough.
Andre?
Oh yeah, but the guy playing Junkyard Dog. Oh my God! Like it was like spot on. Like I couldn't believe it.
Mars.
I haven't seen it, but is it bearded Junkyard Dog or is it mustachioed Junkyard Dog?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember. I'm sorry, I can't. I just remember that it was like I couldn't believe that it wasn't him, but I don't remember if he had a beard or mustache.
I haven't seen the show, but the guy who plays Rocky Johnson, Jesus, that is scary close.
He
looked good too. Yeah,
he does have a beard in it. I just looked up a picture of him, and he looks pretty good. Yeah, a lot of them look really like they did a good job of casting. It looks like on that. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I mean it's typical sitcom fodder, but to flash back to the old school wrestling is very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. It definitely looks like it could be a little silly and contrived, but I don't know. Definitely curious. So maybe I'll check it out sometime. All right, so let's see what else we got going on. Oh, we got some. We're going to announce it in a little bit, but we have decided what we're going to be doing for episode 450. At this point, the milestones don't really matter as much, especially the 50s. Like, it's like, oh, that's cool. But we still wanted to do something a little bit different than the normal weekly format, and we have secured a pretty cool thing. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. Probably after the film discussion, we'll reveal what next week's plans are. But really excited, and we also got word that we're going to have a world premiere of something next week. So that's exciting, and we get to, once again, as we mentioned with Josh, it is a pandemic, and we can't do this in person, so this is the next best thing, and it's someone who we have been wanting to hang out with, again, for a very long time, and we're going to get that opportunity. So just a little tease for you. We'll announce that later on, and the film that we'll be talking about, but it should end up being a pretty cool thing. And we will be looking for your submissions, because there'll be a kind of question and answer session as well as next week. So just keep an ear out for that later on the show. All right, so trying to think if there's anything else that we wanted to discuss before we jump into things. I'm very excited about this movie to talk about it. So maybe we'll just kind of start to wrap things up a little bit early here and start getting into that. Yeah, so let's do that. So if you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. The best way is to go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/trickortreatradio, and there you can join for as little as $2 a month, and it gets you an exclusive episode of Trick or Treat Radio every month. It only goes to Patreon, so it'll never get released, or we have no plans to release them any other way. So they're just available through Patreon. I think we're on, let's see, do we do 18 or 19? Anyways, somewhere around there. We're on, we just did 19. So the next episode will be, for March, will be the 20th episode. And so looking forward to that. And also we have the Discord server. So if you guys are on Discord and want to join the Trick or Treat Radio channel, you can do so. The link is in the show notes. So wherever you listen to the show, just click on the link for Discord. You can join our Discord channel. And if you are part of the Patreon, you have access to different chat rooms. We have additional rooms. We have rooms for Patreon members only. And there you can help kind of shape the direction of the Patreon shows and the Monster Beast Theater and Blackout tapes and all that stuff. So there you go. Well, we had a bunch of people just pop in the chat. Mars is hanging out. He said, I loved this movie. So I think he's talking about Promising Young Woman. We got Slagoth. He's popping in, says, hey. We also got our boy D Rook. He says, how are you, my Trick or Treat Radio brothers, past and present?
Oh, better now, brother.
And Slagoth says, just had my ass grabbed by a random drunken lady in a convenience store. All right. I guess he's doing pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
Florida style. I like that.
Florida style. Instead of Florida man, it was Florida woman.
That's a Florida how do you do?
That's a Florida how's your father?
Yeah.
Did you say, what was that? Rachel, I never heard you make that noise before. What's going on?
Did I make that noise?
Yeah.
Who else made the noise?
I don't know. Really? It was me?
Yeah, it was me. Who else
I
would
don't
it
think I made that noise.
I didn't plan to make the noise.
You're turning into a cartoon character here.
Yeah.
That's fair. Turning?
And he isn't already?
Jesus.
Episode 75, I'm pretty sure that's when that happened.
So if you guys want to hang out and with us on Discord, or if you want to join any of the other special stuff we got going on, check out the Patreon. And we also do have a couple slots left open for the Patreon takeover shows. We'll be getting to one of those in March. We just got to kind of nail down the date. So looking forward to doing that. And what else? I guess that's it for Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. We also have on trickortreatradio.com, there's an Amazon logo. You go there, you click on it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session will get attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Michael Ravenshadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So we'd appreciate any help because we have lots of fees. We got the podcast hosting, we got the web hosting, we got all the subscriptions to do the live show, we have streaming, we have equipment that may need to be replaced at the studio at Raven Shadows. But I think we did get taken care of what the issue was, but we have a plan in place just in case that doesn't fix it. So any help you guys can provide would be most appreciated. And a lot of you use Amazon anyways. All you got to do is just click on our link ahead of time. Just go there and just buy what you normally would buy, and we get a little cut of it. Also, on trickortreatradio.com, we have the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. So if you have not listened to every single episode, which if you haven't, I don't blame you. There's 449 with this episode. There's an episode 0. There's the New Year's year-end shows, the Halloween shows, the Patreon shows. MZ is glossing over. You don't like when we talk about this, do you, MZ?
I think it's a big waste of time.
You're a big waste of time.
You must have been talking to my mom.
No, your girlfriend, actually. So,
Johnny.
What's that?
Don't forget Star Wars.
What about Star Wars?
Star Wars
Episodes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Star Wars episodes.
Slegoth says he misses New England.
Dude,
Why?
just come-
Well, New England misses you too.
Yeah, just come on back.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's open. Borders are open. Come on back.
you
So,
can stay at Raven Shadow.
yep, say Raven Shadows.
Yeah.
All right. So that is how you can support the show. If you do want the greatest hits, go to trickortreatradio.com, click on store, and you'll find them right there. So I think we'll kind of wrap this up a little earlier than usual so we can get to this film discussion because I'm very eager to discuss with all y'all. So, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Promising Young Woman. This is very important. How do you prepare for this fucking movie?
Oh man, I just completed my triple threat triumvirate appearance on the Pop Culture Purgatory podcast. That's right. We did the discussion of the Crow movie, and it was very nice for those who may have been paying attention. Those that forgot. We
You
did
like that movie?
It's fine.
Huh.
Fine film. There's birds, in it. I like that. They should be called The Raven. That'd be a better movie. But no, we did discussion of the soundtrack, the comic, original James O'Barr comic, and now we recorded the discussion of the film. So we did a deep dive, and it was a really great conversation with me, Jeremy McFarlane, and some new Texas brothers. So it was great. That we posted soon on the Fib when I figured that out. But so before that and after that, and in between, you better believe I strapped on.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk, their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips, the beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the cult of muscle.
Trick or Treat Radio is the greatest podcast ever invented. The spelling is very bad. I'm not sure who wrote this. And the Deedites, is that a company that procures houses? The Deadites. Oh, it's the Deadites. The Deadites are a fantastic musical act. That is what I was supposed to say. And there you go. There it is. Cheeseburger. Remember to rent The Fly, because that's a good movie for making love to.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can get you on the show again sometime soon.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio. Is Trick or Treat Radio?
No. Don't say that.
That's like,
You really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. I
You
don't know.
just jinxed us.
Yeah. You put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for
You
greatness.
guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really
just
are. You
say
got a
that again
great show.
slowly.
All right, we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. I think the video won't turn on, but we have returned.
We're better looking without the video.
Oh, there we go. Just finally fucking turned on. Jesus. All right, so we are going to talk about this week's film. I think, right?
If we have to.
If we have to. Oh, boy. Zari's giving something away here. All right, so...
Sounds like you have already. All right.
All right, so Promising Young Woman, this film from 2021. Well, actually, it was supposed to come out last year, but, you know, as has happened with a lot of films, it got pushed back to 2021. So Promising Young Woman is rated R. It is 1 hour, 53 minutes. It is written and directed by Emerald Fennell, and it stars Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Allison Brie, Clancy Brown, Adam Brody, Ray Nicholson, and Jennifer Coolidge, and Laverne Cox. The synopsis: a young woman traumatized by a tragic event in her past seeks out vengeance against those who crossed her path. So just quickly about Emerald Fennell. I think that she's acted. She's been in a bunch of stuff, but as far as directing goes, this is her first feature.
Yeah, it looks like she's only made a short before this.
Yeah, so she did a short called Careful How You Go, and this is her first feature. And as far as writing credits, she's written some TV. She did the shows Drifters and also Killing Eve. She did 6 episodes of Killing Eve, which I've never seen. Has any of you guys checked out Killing Eve?
I got it as a gift a couple of years ago, the first season.
Okay.
I've heard good things, but I haven't gotten around to it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear Raven Shadow's answer. You got it as a gift, but did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it yet, but no, I have it. I can look at it. I mean, I had Fox. What?
Yeah,
What?
You already knew the answer, Aries.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that because he got it as a gift, he might have went out of his way to actually watch it.
Well, I mean, things got in my way. You know what I mean? Like there were things that impacted me.
Like yourself.
Yeah. Life is hard. I got issues.
It's fucking hard. I got medical problems. I'm by myself sometimes, and then that doesn't lead to good things. Josh, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I can't be alone.
Don't rope Josh into this.
Yeah.
Do you need a helper to take care of you?
I do.
More than anything.
Raymond Shadow, I used to work for an organization where, we would go and help people with developmental issues and cognitive issues, people that needed to go run errands or had things they wanted to do, like go to the gym or the movies. Maybe you should look into a program like that.
I would love it if Josh was my fucking handler. I would get so many things done in a day. I feel we'd make the bed. We would have.
This is true. I mean, your mom can't do everything.
She'd take care of my dad. So I think if Josh would offset that.
She's busy taking care of your dad and driving around in storms to get things for you.
Yeah. Risking her own life.
Yeah, Raven Shadow doesn't have to drive in a blizzard to get anything.
Josh, she's all-wheel drive. You understand that? All-wheel drive, okay? But I think Josh would help me get on track.
Corny says, "Don't enable him, Josh." And he also says, "Hell no, Raven Shadow ain't watched that. Has he finished John Wick 3 yet?"
Listen, Corny. I'm fucking trying, brother.
No, you're not. You're not trying.
I am.
How are you trying to watch it?
I'm thinking about it.
That's not trying. That's thinking about it. That's not trying.
No,
I think procrastinating.
There's still some momentum. I'm trying to get there where I'm like, oh shit, and I don't know what parabellum means, and that confuses me.
Jesus Christ.
What's the parabellum? Is that Josh? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Use it in a sentence. Teach me how to learn.
Teach me how to learn. Raven Shadow, a parabellum is a type of semiotic pistol or machine gun.
Who the fuck knows that? I read and watched a lot of G.I. Joe cartoons and comic books and had the toys. Never once did I say, and then Snake Eyes took his parabellum and shot fucking fireflies. I've never am aware of that sentence being uttered.
Although what it means in Latin, it says it's the second half of a Latin phrase, si vis pacem parabellum. And it's basically, if you want peace, then prepare for war. So parabellum is prepare for war.
Did you say fucking John Wick 3 prepare for war?
That doesn't sound as
but
cool,
it sounds
does it?
cooler.
Yeah.
Well, now I know. Now I want to be a fucking parabellum.
You want to be a parabellum?
I'm your parabellum. Like, I'm your Huckleberry. That's what I'm doing. Tombstone was on yesterday. That's what I fucking did.
So you wait. You watched Tombstone?
Well, because it was on, Johnny. You understand? Like, there's some times when it's like
you watched 40 minutes in the middle of it.
Yeah, but
well,
it was okay.
Raven Shadow, it was on.
Then he fell asleep.
That's the laziest shit ever. Like, you could easily put something on yourself. You don't have to flip through the channels and just go with what other people want you to see.
Yeah, that's just as bad as Month to Zero watching Black Knight again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arkham Josh. I was just going to say that.
But I think we can all agree there are certain pictures that are on where, like, that's what you're doing that day.
I don't watch TV, so I don't know. Like, I mean, the only things I watch are things I want to watch. I never flip through the TV anymore.
Well, sometimes it calms me down, and I just go to I press the last button, right? And
the last button.
Oh, God.
And then
Wolfie's become a modern-day hippie.
To the
I don't
Paramount
believe in
Network.
TV, man.
I didn't say I didn't believe in it. I said I don't flip through TV channels.
Yeah, if you cut the cord and don't have cable anymore, then you're scrolling through streaming sites or going to something and clicking on it. So there's no like flipping through the channels and this was on.
But there's a certain magic about let's just I watch the news. Hey, the weather's fucking hot. Sunny.
Fox 25.
Channel 25. No, don't embarrass me in front of Josh.
I'm not bashing you. I'm just asking.
You're embarrassing me in front of Josh. But no, I like the Paramount Network because they pretty much only show like Indiana Jones and Godfather movies. But Tombstone's on, and it's OK Corral, and then it's fucking Doc talking to fucking fucking who's he? Fucking Kurt Russell's like, Doc, this isn't your fight. He's like, how dare you say that?
You own Tombstone.
I do.
I'm sure you own it.
I do.
So why don't you just watch it from beginning to end?
Because sometimes I just want to watch the fucking fight at OK Corral.
So the fast forward button.
Yeah, you put it right on that fight, and boom, you're done. You don't have to sit through and wait for it to get on.
But then I gotta kneel down, open the fucking box.
Oh my God.
See, I told you, lazy.
What am I listening to here? What am I listening to?
Yeah, look at MZ.
This is madness.
He just goes to YouTube and watches fucking Super Dave all day.
Hey, you got a problem with Super Dave Osborne?
Nope.
It's a very good answer.
But it's true.
Very good answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get on a streak. I'll watch something that I haven't seen in a while, then I'll watch a whole bunch of them. And and this time it's Super Dave Osborne, and I'm laughing my fucking balls off this week watching that stuff.
Oh, Corny says they're way better gunfights in John Wick than Tombstone Raven Shadow. He's not wrong.
I'm going to go with semi-automatic and fully automatic in John Wick, rather than just revolvers and the hammers and the
and Raven Shadow. You know who else?
Repeater rifles.
You know who's in John Wick 3?
Who's that?
The fucking chairman of Iron Chef America.
Really?
Mark Dacascos, yeah.
Oh shit! I'll do it. Marion, make me watch that Sunday.
See, you can't even watch it on your own.
Josh, make me watch that. Message me, okay?
You know how hard it is for him to watch the movies for the show.
Thank you, Josh.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Wolfenstein doesn't have to call him and be like, "Okay, sit down right now and watch the movie."
Wait! I have an idea. Someone wants you on their podcast. So you got to watch John Wick 3 so you can talk about it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. Someone do a John Wick podcast, and then I will do that. But no, I love the John to the Wick. You know that. You know that.
Tell me. You want someone to tell you to watch it.
Listen,
You're not excited to watch it on your own.
I can't be left alone, John.
Well, this fucking pandemic isn't doing you any favors.
Obvious.
Because I'm a fucking psycho, and I just fucking go into rooms, and I don't know what fucking happens.
I go into rooms.
Can we switch for a while? Can you come here?
I would get my ass kicked.
You would.
You would.
But I would do it for an hour alone. Just for an hour alone, I would do it.
One night, Aries. Maybe just one night. You swap.
Oh God, yes, it'd be beautiful. Just time to myself. Can't say that too loud. You'll hear me.
Oh God.
Would you be nice to Ollie and take him out and praise him?
I'd take him for a walk. We could go for a ride in the truck and go for a walk in the woods.
Oh no, you
lost Raven Shadow there.
You're gonna check him, but he would like to be in the truck with you.
Yeah, no, we go for a nice long walk. That dog would sleep like he never slept before after spending one day with me.
But just check him though. You gotta flip him over though.
Corny says, Aries, rough him up for me. I'll be your friend.
Wait, me or Ollie?
I don't think he'd rough up Ollie. And Creepy Girl's hanging out. She says, hi, everyone. I love Super Dave. There you go, MZ. You and Creepy Girl, romantic night alone watching Super Dave Osborne.
That's right.
And Joe Bob
Super
Briggs.
Dave.
Those words have never been uttered in the history of the universe. Romantic night with Super Dave Osborne.
Super Dave was a shit, man. That show was awesome. He was great. The movie sucks, though. Oh, my God.
All right. Let's talk about this movie.
All
We
right.
started, and then I don't even know what happened. But we
You
went
started asking Raven Shadow stupid fucking questions.
You're right.
That's what you did.
You're right, I did. All right. So, Promising Young Woman. Oh no, we roboting? Oh
Yes, but-
fuck.
Fuck.
Show's over.
Oh, well, it's not. I don't know if it's you, Raven Chow. Are you making this happen?
I don't think so.
You scratching your balls?
Did you move the cord? No, I'm just kidding. Don't touch anything. All right. So, this obviously I don't want this for the film discussion. Oh, and it went away. Okay.
Maybe.
If it happens again, we're gonna have everyone disconnect, and we'll just reconnect real quick. But I think we're good for now. So, all right. So let's jump into this movie. I'm excited to talk about it. So Josh, I gave you a list of a few films that we were kind of thinking about to have you sort of help out, and this was one of the ones that you threw out there. What had you interested in talking about this film?
Well, I know it's a film that's been getting a little bit of buzz, and I was interested in seeing it for a while because before the shutdown, I remember seeing a trailer for this one of the last times I actually went to the movies. So it had kind of just been in the back of my head that I wanted to check this film out.
And it was nominated for some Golden Globes, which just happened. I don't think it won any of them, but it was nominated for Best Screenplay, Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture for Carey Mulligan, Best Director for Emerald Fennell, and Best Motion Picture for Drama. So got some pretty big praise there, getting 4 Golden Globes for whatever that's worth to you.
Yeah.
But we typically don't do the kind of movies that will get nominated for awards, at least in terms of like the mainstream awards. So I think this is will be a good one to discuss, though. So I had been hearing a pretty good amount of buzz about this one as well, and I heard Carey Mulligan had a great performance, and I heard it was a very sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of like a very of the time film, like a film that reflected a lot of what's going on in society in the last few years. So, I don't like to shy away from that stuff. I like to embrace that and kind of like discuss it because I think it's important to bring that to light and to the forefront. And this one is absolutely within that. And I'm going to go ahead, go on a limb here, Raven Shadow. Hold on. Hold on to your couch. So, no, I don't know about putting your foot up on the chair, on the table.
It makes
like
me
that.
nervous.
Yeah.
I get very nervous when he does stuff like that.
It's a little weird. But I'm going to say, Raven Shadow, that this is an important film. There you go.
I would agree, Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan. That's not my name. My parents named me Johnny. It's the first time. You agree with me. Wait, I'm so shocked that wow. Okay. All right. Raven Shadow agrees with me. So I thought I was going to get some resistance for calling it an important film.
No, and I was going a little dig at corny too because Swearingen from Deadwood calls John Wick Jonathan, and even though he's John, Jonathan's only for Jon, but I think that Swearingen is kind of taking the piss at Jonathan.
All right, so there you go. All right, so this movie, it's I think it's hard to kind of categorize this one. It's on IMDb. It is characterized as a crime drama thriller. It's kind of hard to synopsize it. I've also seen it sort of like talked about as a comedy, like a black comedy. It's definitely a drama and a bit of a thriller, I guess. But there are some elements of horror. I wouldn't call it a horror film necessarily, but I think that there's some in there. As our resident horror guru, MZ, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I would definitely put all those categories in there. There are moments of black comedy involved. There are obvious elements of horror and terror involved, and the drama pieces, yeah, sure. I mean, this all fits into the crime, sure. Yeah, and there's one more actually that I want to mention, but
Yeah.
I won't mention until we get further into the film.
Okay, well, maybe it's the one I'm about to mention, because this, when you read the synopsis and you read some of, if you watch the trailer or any of this, they don't explicitly state what it is, but you get the sense that this is a take on the rape revenge subgenre.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. I knew that's probably where you were gonna go. Now this is. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I would definitely add the rape revenge subgenre into this, exploitation subgenre into this, and that it's a different spin on it.
Absolutely,
it's a different spin on the rape revenge.
Yeah, I've never seen one like this. And I think the roboting's back. Sucks.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, hold on one sec. All right, let's I don't want this to keep happening during the discussion, so maybe we should end the call before we get into it. So if everyone sorry, this is inside baseball stuff for those listening, but since we don't edit, you're going to hear it all. But if everyone could just hit end on the call, and I'll go ahead and get everyone back in just a moment. So I'll try to kill time here while we do this. All right, so bear with me, everyone, for a moment. I gotta, not only do I have to control my computer, I also have to control Raven Shadows. So. All right, so disconnected from everyone. I'm going to reconnect. Hopefully this takes care of it, because it's annoying as fuck when it does this robot thing. And all right, give me one moment. So, and I'll reconnect. I'll give them time to kind of clear. Hopefully everything clears up. Let me just check the chat room real quick while I'm waiting. Creepy Girl says that this film is very relevant, and I would agree with that. And Corny says you still didn't finish the film, Raven Shadow. Unfucking believable. Yep, he never finishes it. All right, so let me try and reconnect up with everybody, and then we'll try this again. Hopefully, we don't have any fucking robot issues. Hey, Josh. Got Josh back?
Hello.
All right.
Yep.
So reconnect with everyone here, and hopefully everything is on the up and up. All right. Got Raven Shadow. Got Aries. Just waiting on MZ. Just waiting on you, dude.
Fuck him. Let's go.
All right. I think we're good. Okay, cool. So let's jump into this flick. Talk a little bit more. So so we're talking about the rape revenge subgenre, and this is definitely very different. And it is worth mentioning that this is from the lens of a woman. Literally, it was directed by a woman, Emerald Fennell, and this film is at times very difficult to watch. That doesn't happen very often with me when it comes to films. A lot of times we're sort of desensitized by horror and gore and violence, but this is a different thing. This takes it from a different direction. And I did the other day, I related this movie to Get Out in a sense that it showed you the perspective of that you may not get as a hetero cis white male. We won't get the perspective that we see in Get Out, or especially in a film like Promising Young Woman. We as men have no idea what it's like to, day by day walk through the world as a woman, right? We could probably say that we've seen how women are treated, whether from people we know, from just seeing things, from talking to people, or even maybe potentially ourselves, And so I think that's why I think this is an important film, because it shows just what the experience of a woman is, just walking through the fucking world every day, getting gas, going to the fucking store, whatever, right? Like there's a couple scenes that, especially early on, like she's just walking down the street and those construction guys are like catcalling her, right?
Right.
I loved that scene.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we've all seen it, right? Like,
oh yeah.
And
it's a challenging thing too. I mean, at least for most of us who are, 40-something white men from
yes,
the Northeast. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different perspective. So I mean, it might be challenging, and I am excited to fucking talk about this film, and maybe we're not as smart. I mean, Josh probably is. And probably Johnny, but I think I do think what this movie did, I really want to get into it, did some really subtle magic tricks with the casting and what was shown in this movie.
Yeah. So obviously, as we typically do, I want to steer clear of spoilers. So I would say for the most part, let's say the last 20 minutes are kind of off limits in terms of specifics. We can talk general, but I think it's fair to say that we can talk about some of the stuff. So especially as it relates to Carey Mulligan's character of Cassandra. So she is fed up with fucking dudes, right? Like she's fed up with men. And there was a traumatic event that happened in her past. It was like it did affect her, but the traumatic event didn't initially occur with her. It happened to a friend. And we kind of see the ramifications of this. And she was in medical school, and all of a sudden she dropped out. She talks about her friend fondly, but her friend seemingly is no longer around. There's it's never explicitly said for a while as to what happened to Nina. And so we're living vicariously through Cassandra, as she basically is kind of like a faux drunk. She goes to clubs, goes out every night, and basically pretends to be vulnerable or inebriated, drunk, high, whatever, and just waits for a dude to come up to her and try to put the moves on her, try to get her into bed. And then she will not snap out of it, but she'll let them know she's not fucking drunk. And what they're doing is predatory and wrong. And it's really interesting from a male perspective, because for us, we're seeing, and all of these fucking guys, like the McLovin, I can't remember the dude's actual name, but the dude who plays McLovin, Christopher Mintz-Plasse is in this, and he does it, and like all these guys are like, oh, but I'm a nice guy, but you literally just try to take advantage of this drunk woman.
I think that was taking it back to the magic trick of the casting, where you have Adam Brody, McLovin, even Alison Brie from Community, who once again, not for nothing, and even Connie Brighton. There are characters in these actors are known for their air quotes nice people roles, like harmless. They are normal. Like Adam Brody got crazy nerd cred. I don't watch the OC because they're too attractive for me. They wouldn't be my friends. But you know what I mean? But it's wow, he's in that role. But then as you kind of goes along, as you see as she kind of like stalks her prey or goes out into the night, everyone's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Until they have that moment. Yep. I think that was the magic trick. There wasn't like they were like, long-haired, sleazy, big beard,
right.
Rangers who drove trucks.
Wait, whoa! You just described Aries.
I don't know.
Long hair. Long hair. Aries has no hair.
He's got a long beard. Yeah.
This is long in its hair.
Yeah. Long-haired, big beard. You got big beard, but no long hair.
But
or
it
any hair.
it wasn't like Marilyn Manson in like Jawbreaker going to the club. Obviously, that guy's sleazy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We're all nice guys.
Yeah.
You know, they were nice boys.
And this, and I think I like what you're saying. And this shines a light. It's not just these fucking creeps. It's not just these guys that come across as creeps. It's the nice guys. You know, it's the ones you might least expect, right? And I think that was part of what they're trying to shine a light on here, and part of what I really liked about this is, and you know, like I could see some men feeling attacked by this, right? Because I was just trying to help, I was just trying to do the right thing and bring her home and take, you know, and whatever. But there was more to it than that, you know.
Well, I mean, there's a level of taking care of a woman, and then there's taking advantage of the woman.
Right. There's a fine line to some guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it isn't a fine line because there's taking care of and taking advantage of. Yeah. Working in a bar for a number of years, I've seen this type of woman.
Yep.
I don't know how many times, and I've put that woman in a cab or in an Uber a number of times.
Yep.
Alone. Now, I am taking care of that woman because I'm getting her home. I'm not taking advantage of her because I'm not going home with her.
Right.
I mean, that is the difference. Like, if these guys had any implication of moral thought, they would have put her, you know, they would have gotten her home and left. And that is it. They always brought her to their place conveniently. Oh, look, we're a block away from my house, my apartment.
Yep.
I mean, there was no, their intention was to take advantage of them from the get-go.
Yep.
I mean, I think we've all been in that situation though, where we not taking advantage.
Yeah, whoa.
Taking care of a drunk woman. Taking care of a drunk woman.
Calm yourself down, hippie. I'm talking about taking care of a drunk woman. I remember one time when I was in Hampton Beach, and I was at a club, and the place was getting ready to shut down, and there was this girl who was completely shit-faced. I mean, the poor thing couldn't even walk. And she was like, could you, you know, because the place was upstairs, could you help me downstairs? So I helped her downstairs, and I'm like, you sure you're okay? Now, of course, I had no intention of doing anything. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure she was okay. She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. And then I just went on my merry way. So, I mean, I could speak personally that, you know, there are guys out there that will do that.
I don't
and know where that line is.
I don't want to like white knight us and try to put ourselves on a, like you say, we're above any of this. Like I want to discuss in, you know,
no, I understand that, but I understand that, but what I'm saying is that the guys who do that, who help out vulnerable women in this situation, or get them in a cab like Aries did, or an Uber or whatever, or just make sure that they get home okay, and nothing else. In this regard, we're sure is a hell of a lot better than the guys who take advantage.
Well, and one thing
that's just my point.
Yeah, and one thing that she did is, because there's a couple instances where, especially the Adam Brody character, where he was kind of like, you know, like, hey, let's get you a cab or something like that, and you know, it started out that way. But she knew the right buttons to push, right? Like she was poking and prodding, because trying to basically point out that all, like in essence, all these nice guys have this sort of latent feeling buried inside of them, and as long as you poke and prod the right way, this, you know, and she's basically, you know, it's not like she was murdering these guys. She was just basically saying, don't fucking do this. And, you know, like basically scared straight, right? Like, and saying there's others like me out here doing this, and just get them to the point where they're fucking petrified to ever try it again.
Except for the first guy at the club, because you could see the following morning she's walking down the street. It's a very early morning. She's walking down the street, and she's wiping what looks like possibly blood off her hands. You could see a little bit of blood on her clothes.
No. You see red on her, and as it pans up, she's eating a jelly donut.
Right. She was eating, yeah.
That's right. That's
that
right.
you're
And then
led
that
to believe.
character comes back after too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you're led to believe one thing and then it's something else.
No, you're right.
But-
You're right. I forgot about
But
that.
as she writes in her journal, she writes in her journal in different colors, and it is never fully explained.
yeah,
The only thing you can kind of deduce is when you see the full interaction between one character, and she writes in her journal in a particular color. So you can you're left to decide what the other colors mean, because what happens at the realization that she's not drunk is how she proceeds at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she decides how how the night progresses based on how the male reacts to her levels of consciousness.
Yeah, and it's almost like she's doing sort of almost like a sociological study.
Oh yes,
yeah, to kind of gauge reactions. It's interesting, and she's fearless in it because like she's making herself very vulnerable and putting herself in these situations where she could potentially be hurt, right? But she's so convicted in what she's doing that this is the right thing to do, and she wasn't even thinking of the potential ramifications,
Well, I think the whole incident of what happened to her in her past has kind of pushed her, and possibly in a delayed manner, by the way, in almost a sociopathic tendency.
Oh, be careful! Be
I mean,
careful! Be
no,
careful!
just chill out,
No,
will you?
because it's important. You can't mischaracterize this.
Just listen to me and shut up.
That's where we get in trouble. Okay, go ahead.
It could be perceived as that, but you could see how well she controls herself when she's getting down to business, as far trying to get in, for lack of a better term, getting into character. Then just immediately snapping out of it. One can perceive that as being sociopathic, but I think,
you can,
and that's what I thought at first, and but as the movie progressed, we see that this woman has got she's got all her check marks, all her box check marked correctly.
Yeah.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
Well, because
she's doing it with a very fine pencil too. She's doing an exquisite job. It's a hell of an acting job.
You said delayed. There's nothing delayed about this. She's been doing this a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She spent a long time perfecting what she's doing.
Yep. When she kind of flips through her book, I think there's a good 10 pages prior to the one that she writes in, I think, or maybe more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's a pretty full notebook. This is not a delayed thing. She's been doing this for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean delayed in the sociopathic sense, where I thought that's what she was. But as I said, it turns out that she's got this very well mapped out, and it turns out she's had this plan from the get-go.
No, I disagree. This isn't what transpires in this movie is not a plan from the start.
You don't think so?
No, no.
She's kind of like a vigilante, though. I mean, is there something to be said of being? I mean, like Batman probably has some sociopathic tendencies, right? I mean, like a lot of people have childhood trauma that don't become Dark Knight vigilantes and wear bat costumes.
Well, here's the thing. There was a breaking point. She saw a friend have her life completely destroyed.
Yes.
Completely destroyed, and there was collateral damage that included herself. It included the Nina's mom. It included a lot of other people, and she saw some people were affected while others were not. Right, the men in this were not affected negatively. They had an experience. They, they had fun seemingly in this experience, and they didn't see any negative ramifications from that. So this is someone who reaches a breaking point, and I can almost guarantee you that most women have gone through life and wanted to do this, right? Wanted to do something like her, but like she reached a breaking point where it's like, I need to do this or I can't survive, basically. That's why.
More than we.
Go ahead, Raven Shadow.
More than we would care to admit, and more than we actually probably know. There's those who we know, and there's those that we don't know. You know, so it's more spread than we probably can even imagine.
Yeah.
As fucking dudes. Once again, if my fucking drunk ass is at the fucking Lucky Dog passed out on a table, there ain't no chicks looking at me saying, I'm taking him home tonight.
There's also no alcohol back on behind the bar.
Right, but no one's like, chat. I'm not. Yeah, I ain't going home.
But swap. Put a woman in your shoes, and there's at least half of the club, right? Looking to take advantage.
Could be a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. So I can totally see where she's coming from. This is like, and I could see any woman wanting to do this, and especially there's that scene with the fucking tire iron. That scene was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
It was literally this dude just fucking looked at her and like said something to her, and she was like, just got out of her car, grabbed the tire iron, smashed his fucking headlights, his taillights, and then that was it. Like, I'm sure there's been a lot of women that would love to fucking do that.
Yeah, because I mean, the breaking point keeps on getting mentioned. There isn't like a defining breaking point where it's like fine and then not fine. This is a series of stress points, and it just keeps on snapping and snapping and snapping.
Yeah,
there's no like moral and immoral or good bad type. Like, this is just, it is stress points and getting worse and worse throughout this whole movie.
Yeah,
and I was gonna say that I think you're right. I don't think there's a specific breaking point. And I think what I'm going to say goes back to when you guys were talking about a plan. And I think that could refer to two different things. I think she did have a plan that had been enacted early on, and that's what she was doing in the clubs. But I think that she got to a point with all these stresses added on with a culmination of information, with which that's when she just shifted gears to what came next.
Yeah, that's
yep. I'm gonna kind of agree with you. Like, she didn't like, it was like little plans, like she had little battles.
Right.
And that's what she was doing every night. And then something happened where it triggered something. It was one of the stressors. And then it brought her onto a bigger plan. And the movie, I kind of don't like what the movie did. It led you to believe that everything was supposed to happen with the Roman numerals. Like, because of that, it made it seem like it was an ultimate goal. And it wasn't. It just happened that way. Because there were a series of stressors that escalated things to the point where the movie climaxed.
I agree, and I think the Roman numerals were more just that when she got to a certain point where certain information or people were brought back into her life, she had decided on a set of specific targets. And I agree that I don't think that there was a full plan with that end game involved. But I do think that the Roman numerals were just to represent that. These were 4 people who she wanted to confront.
And actually, you know what? It didn't occur to me until just now, because I thought it was a different way of representing the Roman numerals, that it was an intentional misdirect, those Roman numerals.
True.
Yeah.
That just occurred to me.
And it also did align because that's how she marked off numbers in her notebook, right? So it was,
it was
because she
similar, yes.
Yeah, so it was a little it wasn't super clear, but that's it. With what happened in the flow of the story, it seemed to make sense to me. So we can kind of go over some bits and pieces here of the story where Cassandra, obviously we talked about her friend Nina and something happened to her, something traumatic. And so so Cassandra ended up dropping out of med school, and she, by all intents and purposes, was a very good med student. And then she is now working in a coffee shop. It basically has no drive to do anything else. She hates the job, but she's content to be there. And also, speaking of casting Raven Shadow, I think the casting of her parents was also very interesting.
Since John Snyder and Annette O'Toole in Smallville, has there been more inspired casting than having the Kurgan Clancy Brown and Stifler's mom play the fucking parents?
Yeah.
And oh my lord, and a remarkably endearing Clancy Brown performance.
He was fucking awesome.
Oh my god, he was so nice. He was so like my Al. I'll tell you right now, Al was no Clancy Brown when I was growing up. In this picture, Al ain't Clancy Brown now. But he was so good, and we have Sandra. She's living back home on the eve of her 30th birthday. But Clancy Brown was so fucking nurturing.
Yeah, he and it was interesting the dynamic there, because it's almost like they cast these two people who have played like, they were kind of cast like against type, right?
Yes, right. Yes.
Yeah, and but it really was kind of endearing. And Jennifer Coolidge was a little like, the thing is like it added to it because they were putting pressure on her to be, finger quotes, normal, right? Like, oh, we wish she would just get back to being herself and, be normal. And she's 30 living at home. And, like now, actually in this day and age, that's not that weird. But
to be fair though, I mean, she was on point to be a fucking doctor, right? I mean, like, not that any job is more, I mean, doctors are pretty fucking important, right? But like, there's no shame in the game how you make paper. But obviously, it might be hard for parents who probably coughed up some dollars to go to med school.
Yep. They seemed like they had some pretty good money, that family.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't, it wasn't always dollar store, and $10 on Pump 5, you know what I'm saying?
Like you.
Yeah, I'm saying. But the mother probably wanted more, and maybe they just couldn't understand why. And maybe Cassandra didn't fully communicate. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of. Was
she present, Raven Shadow?
The mom probably wasn't present. I don't think, but there's a lot of emotion there. I think that's a crux of the film. Is even those who were AKA present at the moment, but they could walk away from it, like you said before.
Yeah.
Cassandra is so holding on to her best friend being broken.
Yeah, and the other thing too is the parents, especially the mom, putting these sort of societal pressures on her. Oh, well, when are you gonna, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna go back to normal? Like, and there's a lot of that, because that's something that I mean, from what I understand, all women probably deal with. Oh, why aren't you're not married? Like, who, like why? Like, when are you gonna have your first kid? It's all these pressures of like, this is what a woman is supposed to do, is supposed to be married and have children. Like, that's the expectation. Now, I think those expectations are changing a little bit. Hopefully they do, because it's just kind of like, we're so backwards in a lot of ways still, in the way that we approach things with the dynamic between men and women, So that was the thing that kind of like was always this pressure on her. Even if there wasn't something, even if she was trying to be normal, but there was all these pressures on her, and she didn't want to deal with that. She clearly wasn't interested in dating. It just so happened that this one dude, what was his name? Played by Bo Burnham Ryan. He was kind of endearing, kind of a dork, kind of funny dude. But she finally caved and went on a date with him after spitting in his coffee, which I thought was pretty fucking hilarious.
Which he drank. I mean, he
drank it.
Yeah, and he drank it. Yeah.
came. So basically, they have a past history. Although he looked a lot younger than she looked. Not as a bad thing. I mean, she was a smoke show.
Basically, given what we know about her, though, I think it would be safe to say that she may have put on more age, metaphorically,
Yeah, stress ages people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And by is that a criticism to her appearance? He seemed like fucking fresh off the fucking, Boy Meets World.
Well, also he also looks as a person. He looks younger than he is. That is just who he is. He looks younger than he is.
Which is probably fair. Clean shaven,
Oh shit!
I mean, it was just.
I was just gonna Double D's dropping some knowledge. Double D says the movie is definitely allegorical. According to Greek mythology, Cassandra was a priestess of Apollo from the city of Troy. She was given the power of foresight by the god in exchange of her love. But after she rejected him, the enraged Apollo cursed her so that even though she could see the future, no one would ever believe her prophecies.
Oh, man.
Raven Shadow. It's interesting. I didn't really.
Double D, do me a favor. Start telling Raven Shadow all your insights so he can sound smart when he comes on the show.
Yeah, fucking Serrano Dominican. You can fucking
Serrano Dominican. Oh shit. I'm sorry, Aries. Do you know what you were about to say?
I completely forgot.
All
yeah.
right.
No, that was just too profound. Yeah.
Yeah. So as she sort of, kind of toys with the advances of Ryan, well, maybe I'll just go out with him. What the fuck? Go. He's asking me for lunch. What's that going to do? It's not going to hurt. Go to lunch, right? And so they end up hanging out pretty much all day. And when it comes time to he's going to his place, and he's like, oh, do you want to, do you want to? Oh, he was really kind of awkward about it. He's like, you want to come up? Oh no, I shouldn't have asked or whatever. She's like, oh, you want me to come up? It's just this weird, awkward back and forth, right, Raven Shadow?
I think, yeah, what? But it was that weirdness of, hey, what's this? This is my house. You should come in.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's right.
That's because. Oh, go ahead.
I didn't get that he was trying to be a perv. I think he was trying to be witty, and they were walking, and maybe were they in L.A.? They probably were in L.A., right?
No, Ohio, but close.
Ohio.
Well, Raven Shadow, hey.
It's Ohio.
If he gets the same country, it's a miracle.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it seemed like a genuine moment where he was like, "Oh, wait, I'm right in front of my own apartment."
Well, here's the thing. I mean, that was.
It didn't seem like a set. To me, it didn't feel like a setup. To me, it felt like it was very genuine and that he was actually really sincere. That he was like, because they were into talking with each other, that he just completely forgot about the fact that he was just on his way home. Yeah, to me, I saw that as a very genuine moment. I didn't think there was anything hidden or any second agenda behind the whole thing.
I don't think it was completely innocent, because you're not going to walk in the direction of your apartment. You're not going to steer the walking towards your apartment and then be like, all of a sudden, hey, we're at my apartment. He may not have had the nefarious thoughts of all the other males in this. Like, he may have, if she said no, it would have been a no, but it didn't happen accidentally. That type of thing never happens accidentally. And if the woman wanted to, she would have gone up and they would have had a mutual engagement. That is what he was hoping for. But it was not accidental. He was steering it that way, and he was hoping she was going to say yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. And who knows? Maybe he just wanted to hang out. We don't know what that was going to be. But the outcome of that was she got, she had a good time, seemingly had a good time, and at the end, she got the impression that he was just like all these other guys, and like that's why she kicked the trash can on the way down the road.
He said some of the key phrases.
Yes, exactly.
I think is his problem.
Yep. So that was very telling, but then he didn't give up, and she I don't think she gave him the wrong number or something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Oh no! Actually, she regretted that, and she actually sought him out at that point.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah.
Right.
The wrong number happened, and he came back to the coffee shop.
Okay, yeah. So, but after that, a little bit went by before they sort of got back together again, and then it turned out that she went to go see Nina's mom. Nina's mom was like, oh, speaking of casting, Molly Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first non-comedic role I've seen her in.
I totally forgot. She was great. Yeah. She looked. Yeah, it was good.
So, just calling that out. I thought that was cool that she was in it. But yeah, and then she kind of was like, you know what? Maybe I can get past this. And it was it? I'm trying to remember the flow of things now. I watched a couple nights ago. Was it before or after Ryan saw her at the club?
With what?
So
that was
Ryan saw her
with Molly Shannon.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Molly Shannon thing was that before or after?
I think
before.
Okay.
That
was before.
So she kind of like revisited this thing because she was wondering, is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to be doing? And because she went to a club to do the same thing that she's been doing to all these guys, and then she runs into her boyfriend after she said that she couldn't hang out with him because she had something to do, So that was kind of an awkward moment between them. And then shortly after this is when the story starts to really more take form. And I don't want to talk too much about the plot points there, but she gets some information which she wasn't privy to prior that really has her re-examine some of the events that took place that kind of formed who she would become. And one person ended up being not what they seemed to be. And that kind of really sent her over the edge. So there was a Charles Durning point, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from that point on, things get really fucking crazy.
I loved the interactions that she had with the people that she wanted to get quote unquote revenge on.
Mm-hmm.
The people that she had targeted. My personal favorite was the university dean.
Oh yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up. That was a great scene.
That was a master in mind fuckery right there. I loved that scene. That might be my favorite scene in the whole movie. And there's a lot of great scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie is fantastic. But if I had to pick one specific scene, it would have to be that, because it's dealing with a high educated official, the highest educated official in that school, for that matter.
Yep.
And discussing about what her daughter may or may not be doing. And it all completely coincides with the tragedy that befell Nina, and putting the two together and tying the two together. And Cassie is just mind fucking with this woman. And she's played by Connie Britton.
Yeah.
Great performance, by the way. And oh my God, just a phenomenal scene. I mean, the tension was just ratcheting up. I mean, you could feel the tension, like as Gorilla Monsoon would say, you could cut the tension with a knife, and you really could in this scene. I mean, I was just eager to see how this was going to play out.
fucking
Yeah,
killer.
and
Fucking killer.
amazing scene. I mean, that's the kind of mind fuckery that would have Hannibal Lecter on edge. You know?
Yeah, that was
Really well
It was
done.
a really great scene. Really, kind of psychologically like mind fucking her, right? Like in a sense, doing, like kind of making her really think about things in a way that she was making the men kind of rethink how they approach things. And yeah,
Where is she? Oh, she's the same room that Nina was in.
yeah.
What room is that?
Fuck.
Did you read the dossier? Didn't you read the fucking thing?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, you fucking should have. Same fucking rule. Same room. You didn't fucking care. Because these boys have promising careers, right?
Yeah, that's what it all ends up. That's it. It's just like that whole that dickhead from a few years ago, Brock, whatever his name was, that guy. And that's all I could think about when I was watching this scene was that fucking Dick Brock, whatever his fucking name was. You guys don't remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I kind of.
The film is actually named after him. That's where the name of the
Is
film.
it the promising young man? I know I've heard that. That was what was in my mind.
Because
I didn't know if it was that or not.
Yeah, because
Jesus.
Because
I never even noticed
when
that.
he was during his like in court, like
Yeah.
people were saying, "Oh well, you're going to ruin a promising young man's life just for all this stuff." So that's where the Emerald Fennel got the name from. And
because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't too hot with the title because I'm thinking promising young woman. I just don't get the title. I watched the movie. I still didn't understand the title. Now it makes sense. Son of a bitch.
See, that was what popped in my head when the title came up.
And
son of a bitch.
I also think I'm not positive about this. I thought I read something about this, but I can't find it now. But I think so. The character of Ed. It was Ed. Hold on. Let me just look it up real quick. Was it? Anyway, the one in the big scene at the end in the cabin.
Oh yeah. Yep.
With Al.
Al, that's it. Yeah. Okay, so Al was the character, and I think what Al was wearing was what one of the what Brock wore, same colors and same thing. I'm not positive about that because I can't find anything to back that up, but I think there's something about that.
I never thought of that. Son of a bitch. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What a brilliant play on the title. I love it. I love it. I fucking love it.
So there's some other interesting things about this, and I gotta say I love the score. And there is that scene when Carey Mulligan's character Cassandra is walking towards the cabin towards the end, and the music that they're playing was like an orchestral score for Britney Spears' Toxic, which I thought was fucking brilliant.
That was fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
I like that fucking. I'm like, this time I'm just, it's toxic. Like, I like that. It's in my head sometimes.
I want you to start humming all the music nowadays. Just
please do.
On the fucking,
Michael Hoven show.
Like, Tetsu, like Akira, like fucking Tetsuo or whoever, Kanaba, whoever the fuck he was. I don't understand. I've watched fucking that movie 10 times. I don't know what the fuck's going on in Akira. El Goro, explain it to me.
One other thing that's interesting is that in the film, the terms rape and sexual assault are never mentioned.
No.
Which, MZ, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because I know you've seen a lot of rape revenge films. I Spit in Your Grave, whatever. Like, I know you've seen a lot of them. This was the best portrayal of if we're calling it a rape revenge film, and that's loosely calling it that. This is the greatest way of doing it without showing it and without having the impact and the triggers that would bring along.
This very easily could have fallen by the way of, say, movies like House on the Edge of the Park, Last House on the Left, Hitchhike, I Spit on Your Grave. It very easily. I mean, the structure of the film is different, but and who's actually in the film it's different. But it could have fallen into that territory, but it didn't, and it was wise not to. There's a scene where we could be privy to some extra information that we would normally get in an exploitation film. And I feel that if they did that, even just for 2 seconds, a 2-second clip, the total tone of this movie would have changed, and it would have sunk the film. Because the way this movie is directed, it's directed with a lot of care. The material is treated with a lot of care, a lot of dignity. And those words are never mentioned. True, and that's also smart. I think they wanted to just treat this material with the utmost respect, while still delivering the message that needed to be sent. You don't need to see any of this stuff. It's not necessary. Not in this film, because it was never intended to be like that.
And I love the way
this
they...
movie...
You go ahead. Good.
No, please.
I was going to say, and I love the scene where she gets that additional information from the video. It was it was gut wrenching, like that. You don't see anything, but it destroys you as a engaged viewer, right?
Yeah, because we're seeing her reaction.
Right.
We've been watching this movie. We've been living this movie through her eyes. And when we see what she's seeing, we don't see it, but when we see what she's seeing, it tears us apart. When I was watching, I was like, geez, it's getting pretty dark. But I think this is about as dark as it's going to get as far as the attack is concerned. And I think they treated it. Huh?
I don't know. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but it gets dark.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's just done with the utmost respect and care for the material. And we've taken this journey with Cassie the entire time. Yeah. This movie's almost 2 hours long. This is around the hour and a half mark.
Yeah.
And it's a devastating scene.
It
really is.
With the way they did it with the audio and the reactions, and there's that revelation. It all I can say that comes to mind is the cover of Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power. That punch to the face is that, oh, Snoop. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And you don't need to see a fucking 20-minute fucking R scene. You know what I mean? And I fucking hate R revenge films. I fucking do. I get the cathartic. I don't know. Maybe I don't get it. I get it enough to where I understand. Well, I fucking hate.
Yeah.
shit.
Well, if I could say, I think we're forgetting we have a guest. We haven't let Josh talk a lot during this review.
I do want Josh to jump in.
Well, I've actually agreed with a number of points that have been made, and as a long-term purveyor of horror exploitation films, like MZ, I've seen a number of the films referenced by him, and I agree that this approaches the material in a very fresh way, and in a way that I think will make a story like this far more accessible to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And which will help get a broader message out there to a bigger audience. and I agree, by not showing certain things, not only did it, I guess, keep this a little bit classier, but I think it was actually more impactful just showing her reaction to the information.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Because I think if they had just showed us, said information that for many audience members, it would just be seen as something for shock value. Whereas just concentrating on her reaction was just purely emotional. So I think that was a definite right choice for the film. And I did want to say, I think we had kind of jumbled up some of the events earlier because...
Probably.
Yeah, because I think it is around this point when she goes to visit Nina's mother.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he kind of ran into her at the nightclub, that was after she had visited the dean because she said she had worked all day and was too tired to go out.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. So I think we kind of shifted a couple of things slightly earlier. So yeah, so that has happened, and now that she has the information, I think this is when she goes and visits the mother again.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think one of this film's problems is that it's not targeted at the audience that needs to see this. The people that are going to watch this and appreciate this are not the people that need to see this. And the villains or the antagonists of this movie are the people, are the type of people that need to see this, that need to have that realization, need to have that slap in the face. And unfortunately, there's no way to make them watch this.
I am going to say I agree with you, but I would hope that with something like this, as we had said, the style of this makes it far more accessible. And
agreed.
So my hope is that something like this, with the buzz it's getting and the press that it's getting, will be seen by a lot more seen by a lot more people, and will hopefully maybe reach a younger audience before they become that bad guy.
Yeah. And because this did get Golden Globe nominations, there is the possibility it could get Oscar nominations.
Yeah, and they were, I know, talking about this like on the Today Show and other popular like news talk shows. So I know like it is reaching a larger audience than it would. So whereas I do agree with your point in that people that would be the immediate, bad guy at the moment are probably not going to see this. But hopefully it has an ongoing effect.
Yeah, and if it does get that Oscar buzz, then there are people who will watch Oscar-nominated films no matter what. So that would be a big boon, even if it does. Even if it doesn't win, I do think that this is a film that a lot of people should see because it's. And I think that I think you have to chalk it up to Carey Mulligan's performance, but we, as MZ had mentioned, we were fully along for the ride. We were with Cassandra during this film, and we felt when that scene happened, when she was looking at the phone, we felt what she was feeling. And the scene in the cabin, that was devastating. Like it's like I was sort of like despondent after this movie ended. I was just like, what the fuck, thinking about like, was I ever a fucking asshole? Did I do anything, to anyone even remotely, and it really had me examining myself, checking myself, and for a movie to do that, that's fucking powerful, and I do think that this is something that men need to see because we may be the nicest fucking dudes, but you know what? Society isn't nice, and it instills a lot of these really negative values and negative sort of ideas into our consciousness, that we need to break this mold, right? Like that's like the scene with the cat call with the construction guys. Like, you see a pretty girl walking by, you whistle at her, right? Like, but no, you don't. You don't do that shit.
Like, never once was some girl like going, "Hey, baby, oh, I want to talk to him." Like, when has it ever happened? When is it?
Actually, Raven Shadow, it happened to us once.
Oh, I think did it?
Yeah, it did. One time, a carload of women whistled at us as we were walking down the road.
Oh man, tell that story again slow, because I forgot it. we were catcalled? Really?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Nice.
How'd it feel?
Yeah, it felt great actually.
Yeah.
Then we're walking back to the rest home.
No, they were in a car and they kept on going. We never saw them again.
Yeah,
oh, you're right. You're
once
right.
in your life.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
One time, 20 years ago.
Well, imagine that.
Time is
Imagine that times
more than none. So.
Imagine that times 1,000, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that this is something that we all need to sort of take a look at. Us who have seen it, other people who will see it. If people haven't seen this movie, look at it with a critical eye and just see what it's trying to say. It's not even like it's fucking buried. You don't need a monocle to understand what's going on in this. It's fucking right there. And you just got to pay attention and just kind of learn from it. Like, what are we doing wrong as a society? What are we doing wrong as men? What can we do to be allies? What can we do to be better? Like, these are questions we should ask ourselves. And then do it, So I think, and that's just to kind of come back around. This is a very important film. And I think that a lot of people need to see this. It is a tough watch, absolutely. And there is the possibility that some women watching this will be absolutely triggered and think like, holy shit, this is what's happened to me. I've seen this happen a million times. And, I can imagine it being tough watch. And it's a tough watch for us as men, because we're basically looking into a mirror and seeing whether it's us or other men, if we didn't do it, we have friends that have done this, and or even if it's not friends, people, it could be anyone, right?
Right. People we know.
Yeah.
It's impactful. It's impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there anything? Okay, so let's talk about the ending in as generic terms as we can. Did you guys all enjoy the ending? We'll start with Josh.
I'm going to say that the ending was very unexpected. As since I said before, if we take a look at the kind of rape revenge subgenre, which this can fall into, they generally have a pattern set to them, which this breaks, and in some very interesting ways. So I'd say in that last 15 to 20 minutes was a couple of things that were a pleasant surprise in a way. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're good things. As we said, the film gets very dark, but it's just like a surprise as for it was completely not what I expected at certain times.
Yeah.
And I found that very interesting, very compelling, and part of what sets this apart from other films. And I don't know, it's both very sad but very interesting in the end.
Yeah. How about you, Raven Shadow?
I mean, wow, man. I mean, I don't know. I think. Hey, man. Once again, you know what? Vulgar display of power cover.
Yeah.
That's fucking it.
Yeah.
Fucking punch in the face. It was a journey. I don't think this movie was not gratuitous.
No.
But it was remarkably impactful.
Yeah. MZ? Hey. Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel. Go ahead. Continue.
No, we got to do the denouement. But okay. Yeah, I mean, wow, man. I don't even fucking know. You know what? I was going to be like, I'm just going to watch the next 20 minutes tomorrow, meaning today before the show. But I stuck through it.
Jesus Christ, that would I think that really would have softened the impact of it.
Yeah, no, but I was fucked up for a little while afterwards. It was
yeah.
Yeah,
Not the typical fucked up you are on a Tuesday night.
I was fucking. Yeah, it sucked.
All right, MZ, how about you? What was your sort of general interpretation of the ending, or not interpretation, but did you like the direction it went?
Up until the last, say, 5 minutes of the film, up until then, it got really dark. All that and everything that considered up until that point, the ending I found to be extraordinarily satisfying. It's a hugely satisfying ending, considering what we're dealing with here and considering what we saw up until 5 minutes before the end of the film. Like I said, it got really dark. We're all saying that it got really dark, but man, that ending, you couldn't have put. I think you couldn't have put a better ending on that movie, because I was waiting for it to end. You know, I was waiting for a hanging on. You know, a cliffhanger of sorts. We didn't get that. We got an actual ending, and it was a good ending, and it was the right ending.
How about yours?
Thumbs up on that ending.
I'm not going to say it was the right ending. I'm not going to say it was a good ending. It was definitely probably the most believable ending I've ever seen in a movie. The most believable scene. I don't want to get into spoilers, but yeah, that one scene. I don't think there's been a more believable scene filmed. I don't necessarily agree that it was the right ending because of that scene. I don't know. Like, I don't want to get into spoilers, but my opinion that although it was good, I'm not going to say it was right. I'll leave it at that.
All right. One thing that's interesting, I'm just looking on IMDb and looking at some of the trivia for the film. It says a few months before the film debuted at Sundance, writer-director Emerald Fennell and her producers set up a test screening to gauge the reactions of a wide audience. During one of the scenes, a fight started between two audience members. One person was very angry about the scene, and the other person was telling them to leave if they didn't like it. She told IndieWire about the incident. It was quite visceral, and that was quite shocking because obviously I wanted to make a film that was thought-provoking that people talk about, but I wasn't expecting that.
So which scene?
I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't say.
It doesn't specify.
Yeah. I would imagine the end. That would be my guess.
Huh.
But I don't know. I mean, one of the things that's interesting is Margot Robbie was a producer on this.
Yeah.
And
Saw that.
And apparently there's speculation that she was initially intended to play the role of Cassandra. But for whatever reason, I mean, it's just a rumor, so I don't know if that's actually true. But I thought Carey Mulligan was awesome in this, so I'm glad it was her.
She's fantastic. I would love to see her in other shit. I would love to see her.
She was in Drive, man.
Fuck.
Go rewatch Drive.
Yeah,
or watch it for the first time.
Or
this time, will he fucking drive?
He did drive.
One time.
No, he drove more than once. She's been in a bunch of other stuff, Raven Shadow.
Transporter fucking drove, I'll tell you that much.
Transporter fucking drove.
Repick.
All right, so I think it's probably safe to head to a verdict now, right? Anyone else have anything important they want to say, or do you guys want to head to the verdict?
Head to the verdict.
All right, let's do the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
show Busta. I couldn't bring out the Busta because it fucked up on me. Show the title screen, motherfuckers. All right, so... All right, well, let's do the verdict. It's verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Promising Young Woman was a trick or treat. And if we have any final thoughts, we'll let them know. Let's, once again, start with our esteemed guest co-host, Arkham Josh.
You're putting too much on me here. All right, so, I mean, I did very much like this film. I guess I can't say I enjoyed this film, but I liked this film. As I said, I thought the story was well written. It, took some turns that weren't expected. Carey Mulligan was fantastic, but that's not to say anybody else was bad, because all of the supporting cast was also great. And as mentioned, there was a lot of people that came kind of from a more comedic world, which what I think really helped in this, it was in people's reactions to situations. And I think that's where some of that black comedy came from. So I'm going to definitely recommend this. I'm going to say it's a treat and a recommend. I definitely look forward to whatever the director does in the future. And I think if people like this and they want to seek other things out, in a small way, it kind of reminded me of another film that I think you guys covered like 3 years ago called MFA.
Oh, we never did MFA, actually.
You didn't? Oh, all right. I know it came up on the show.
Yeah, it did.
And whereas that one does go into kind of more traditional horror thriller kind of areas, I think it also breaches some of this more modern take on the topic. So, treat and recommend.
All right. Let's go to MC.
This is not your dad's rape revenge film.
Jesus.
That's for sure. That is for certain. It's wonderfully cast. I was very surprised with the cast. And the way they handled the material, I thought was done very well. I agree with Josh on the looking for those of the comedic persuasion to be in this film, to give them their acting chops possibly a little bit more meat on the bones, But I sincerely love that. It is a hard watch for a film that's quote unquote classy, considering what this film contains. It is still a hard watch. The soundtrack is good. The performances are really, really good. The mind games are mind-blowingly good. The direction is treated with a lot of care. This film is treated with a lot of care. The material is treated with a lot of care. And it's not what you see, it's what you don't see that breaks your heart. It's a very, very well-made film. And I think it should be required viewing. And you guys are going to laugh, but as far as required viewing to keep you, to help us as a society be better, I wouldn't put this right up there. I'd say this other film is below it, but it's still an important film, and that's Megan is Missing, which is an equally important film. This is a very important film to watch, and I think it should be required viewing of jailed sex offenders. I think that would be. It should be required.
It should be required for everybody before it gets to that point.
I think it should be last day of school scene.
Shut up. Well, I'm talking.
Really?
Well, I'm talking about Well, I'm talking about those that are in there now, because you can't help them now. So, give them the film and let's see if they can figure their shit out on their own.
What, are we gonna do fucking Clockwork Orange shit? We're gonna.
But what I'm saying,
peel their eyes open.
But overall,
put drops in them.
Yeah, exactly. Do that 24 hours straight. So yeah, this is a fantastic movie. I think I cannot wait to see what the director does next. and this was their first film, so this was awesome. I say this is a very, very high-end treat. One of the year's very best.
All right.
Very best.
All right, let's see what Aries has to say.
The acting in this movie was outstanding. You got performances from actors that you wouldn't expect from them. Traditional comedic actors were giving out very realistic performances. This is a very real world set movie. I don't want to call this a black comedy because all the comedic aspects of this movie were more real world, more than dark and twisted. It just kind of was, more of the characters' defense mechanisms with their jokes. So it was just, there was very little, if any, laugh out loud or even chuckle comedic aspects. It was just more of, real world humor that you experience on a day-to-day basis. The poor me, why you doing this to me mentality of a lot of the male characters. Sadly, it's very believable that that's how people think. And like I said, like the people that need to watch this movie probably won't because of what it is. It isn't, I mean, I don't want to call this a rape revenge movie because although that's kind of what happens, it isn't that movie. When I got the feeling that's what was happening in this movie, it almost turned me off to it. Fortunately, they steered me away right at the beginning that this was not that type of movie. So I was able to sit and appreciate this movie for what it was. Like I said, the acting was very good. The story was good, although predictable. Unfortunately, I kind of saw where they were going, sometimes pretty far in advance, sometimes only shortly in advance. And I feel that was more because it was more of a Hollywood movie and they needed to Hollywood it up more than kind of the independent storylines. But all in all, this movie is very, very enjoyable to watch in a weird kind of way. Enjoyable is a weird thing to put on this movie.
Yeah.
I did watch this movie with the missus. She heard I was watching this movie. She wanted to watch this movie. And she did like this movie as well. And there is I don't want to say, I've already said too much. She had an understanding to this movie, and she recognized the importance of this movie.
Yeah.
So everyone should watch this movie. This movie is a treat.
All right, Raven Shadow.
I do agree, Jonathan, that this is an important movie. No, it walks the line, a slight black comedy to satire to being very aggressive in your face. And I think that I would say I get the cathartic release of an R revenge film, but I don't think you need to see a fucking 20-minute scene to fucking realize why a person needs fucking revenge. It's not my kind of fucking entertainment. What this movie did with storytelling and sound effects and characters reacting to a cell phone video, whatever the fuck it was, spoke the loudest. It was classy and sassy, and it was fucking rough. I mean, I want to see this at least one more time, and it wasn't like completely off-putting. It wasn't like vulgar, or the movie vulgar. That sucked. It was hard to watch, but I thought it was really incredible. I was really blown away by this picture. The cast, right, even down to we've not mentioned Alfred Molina. His cameo.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him. Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him. with the big ass beard on his face.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
it was quite after Adam Brody appeared. I totally got the casting coup all down the line, and it made so much sense to me. This was a very smart, really fucking A, man. Yeah. Listen, if you got a fucking dick, don't be a dick. Okay? You don't gotta be a dick if you got a dick, man. You know, knock it off. We can all be better. Try harder. All of us.
All right.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. All right. You guys said a lot of what I would say, and man, the performances in this were masterful, and Carey Mulligan really did an amazing job of selling this character and the trauma and the anguish and the pain and just the downright fucking like fed upness, like fucking fed up. And everything she did was believable. I think it was a really great performance, and like you guys said, the casting in general was really well done. And Alfred Molina, like I thought his character was awesome. Like I liked what they did with his character. I know we didn't really talk about that, but he was integral to the plot as well, which was cool.
And kind of impacted Cassandra.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and for this to be your fucking directorial debut, come on, come on. That's just unfair. It is so fucking unfair for this to be a directorial debut. Like, people are gonna watch this movie and be like, you know what, I'm not even gonna try to make a movie, because if that's what she does on her first film, like I can't compete. It's ridiculous. It's so well done. It's so important, and I think people need to see this film. Need to see this. I don't give a fuck how uncomfortable it makes you. Watch this film and talk about it with people. As with you, Aries, I watched this with T-Dog, and afterwards we talked about it for a good 30 minutes. For a while it was just like kind of sitting in silence, like what the fuck, and then we talked about it for a good half hour. And it's a tough thing to approach, especially because a lot of guys don't want to look at this part of themselves. But I think it's important to watch and to really watch it and to really ask yourself the questions: have I done this? Could I do this? And can I ensure that this doesn't happen again? And in doing that, there's ways that we can do it. We can talk to other guys. We can talk to other dudes and tell them, you don't do that. That's not right. We can not do it so we can stop annoying the fuck out of women and let them live their lives. There's a lot that we can learn from this, and I think it's a hugely important film. I think it's a masterfully made film. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in a really dark fucking way. And that end, fuck. Oh my God, that end. Last 20 minutes, fucking brutal. So, huge treat for me. This is definitely, as MZ said, one of the finest films of the year. This is so far turned out, we're already just in March, and this is a really good year for film so far, I think. So, it's going to be a tough one already for the year end. It's already shaping out to be a tough one. So, all right, well, that is it. That is our discussion of Promising Young Woman. I'm glad we actually left a little bit of time, because we went over 90 minutes. We almost went the length of the movie talking about it. So please just go see this movie. If you haven't, go see Promising Young Woman and talk with people about it. Tell them to see it. Let it start conversations and think about what it means and what it means to you, especially for the dudes out there. So, all right. Enough about that. Now, next week, we have some exciting news. Episode 450. We're kind of done with doing like the big milestone stuff. Whatever, 450 is kind of a cool thing, but it's not a really big deal. So, but we want to do something slightly different than our normal. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, we, there's a friend that we've met through doing the show that we haven't had the opportunity to hang out with in a while. And I thought that it'd be a good opportunity. And plus, he has a new movie coming out in the near future. We don't know when, but because of the way things are in the world nowadays, we don't know when. But we're going to tiptoe around that movie and talk about some of the influences and some of the inspiration for it. And so next week, we'll be joined for the entire episode as guest co-host by Karando Mitsutake. Will be joining us live on the show, and we're going to be talking about a Giallo film with Karando. He's going to do the film discussion with us. And that film, MZ, one of your favorites, we're going to be talking about Tenebrae.
Yeah.
From Dario Argento. So we're going a little bit different. We're not doing a modern film. We're doing a classic. And it is it'll sort of like open up the conversation of Giallo so we can talk about it as a bigger topic as it relates to Karando's up-and-coming film Maniac Driver, which I cannot fucking wait for. So we will be talking to Karando. And also, one other thing we're going to do is, since it's been a while since Karando has joined us, we're going to do a little Q&A session. So if our listeners out there have questions for Karando, please send them our way. We'll do voice messages are preferred, but if you guys want to, obviously email is fine. But we prefer to do voice. We'd love to have everyone's voice ask a question to Karando. So I'm going to give you homework. If you haven't seen Karando's films, please seek them out, watch them, and even just one of them. If you haven't seen, any of them yet, I would recommend just go watch either. We can run down the list here. You can check out, going in order. His first film, Monsters Don't Get to Cry, Samurai Avenger, The Blind Wolf, Gun Woman, and Karate Kill. So he's got 4 films to choose from. Or, if you want, go watch season 2 of Heroes. and see Karando as Whitebeard.
When Hero was back, oh my god, I'm gonna watch Karate Kill tomorrow night. I love that movie so much.
And he was also in a new film apparently called Sky Sharks.
Well,
little appearance cameo.
Yeah, I don't think he loves that movie. I don't want to speak for Karando, but I don't. What are you gonna do?
So that's what's going on for next week. We're going to talk about Tenebrae. We're going to have Karando Mitsutake on for the entire show, and we want to do a little Q&A session with Karando. So please get your questions, comments. Even if it's not a question, if you want to comment, you've seen Gun Woman, you've seen Karate Kill, you've seen Samurai Avenger. You want to just say something about it? Call in and just you have the floor. You can tell Karando whatever you want. You can ask him a question, but it'll be a lot of fun to have Karando back on the show, and we're just going to shoot the shit with him too. Whole show with Karando. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a blast. And you know what? Even if there's a Giallo, if you want to talk about Giallo, call in a question about Giallo. We're going to be talking about Tenebrae. Yeah. So if it's something about that specifically or just anything about Giallo, Karando, anything, let us know. But it should be a great time. Can't wait to hang out with Karando. So that's what's up for next week. Super excited about that. And I've been excited to kind of reveal the format. You guys didn't know until just a couple hours ago. So looking forward to that. That'll be fun. All right. Well, we do have some voice messages. You guys want to hear those?
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, speaking of which, before we get too far off the topic, Josh, I know you're a big fan of Euro horror. I actually met. I think we met at one of your Euro horror not festivals, but you did like an all-day screening.
Oh yes, I did a 12-hour Euro horror marathon.
Yeah.
That was probably what, like 6 years ago?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
that's
more.
about right. Yeah, about 7 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun event. Trying to think what we showed. We showed Horrible Dr. Hitchcock,
Yes.
Man from Deep River. Burial Ground, Knights of Terror.
There you go.
And then we capped off the evening with the full cheese Gates of Hell trilogy of House by the Cemetery, Gates of Hell, and the Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So
beautiful.
Yeah, and mixed in was starting with every other feature. We had a complete reel of trailers almost entirely for other Euro horror films.
Oh, nice.
It was fucking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And I don't remember if that's where we met or if we had met prior, but I remember talking to you there at the very least, and it was a great night. I didn't stick around for all the films, but I know I saw some of Horrible Dr. Hitchcock, Man from Deep River, and then Burial Ground, and at least one of the Gates of Hell trilogy films. But great time, and it was all on 35 millimeter, right?
Oh yeah. All the films are on 35. I spent. You'll appreciate this being a former projectionist.
Yep.
So I spent that entire 12 hours in the booth doing changeover projection with no exhaust fan.
Oh man.
So it was like really 110 degrees in there all day long.
Oh Jesus Christ.
But I remember you being there. I think we actually met prior to that at a Rock and Shock now.
Okay, you might be right. Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I knew Jarrett Blinkhorn then. I don't think he was there. No, I didn't know Jarrett yet. Derek Rook was there, though.
Yes.
I remember talking to Derek. Yep.
Yeah, because I met Derek because he started coming to my screenings. But, I'd been going to Rock and Shock since the beginning, so I'm fairly certain. Plus, I was doing the film room, so I'm fairly certain that that's how we met.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's absolutely right. But no, that was a really great night, and obviously, I know it's not a very lucrative business to get into, so but now with the way things are, it's very difficult to do now. But
yeah. I wish it was something I could keep doing, but even for the past few years, I haven't really had a viable venue that's affordable to do events at.
Yeah, that's a shame. Maybe, who knows?
And no matter what I do, I could never get Monster Zero to come to a screening. He loves Euro horror, can't get him to come see Euro horror films. He loves Henenlotter, can't get him to go see Brain Damage.
True.
Oh, god damn, dude. You know I would. You would,
but what?
But
I don't think he knows you would.
Yeah.
Film.
I would even drove your ass to Providence.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Johnny, you went to the Brain Damage screening that I did at Coolidge, right? Yeah. So see, which also had a really fun trailer reel.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things that Josh really excels at is those trailer reels. That's like part of the fun of going is just checking those out.
I do love a good trailer compilation.
Oh, I love when Johnny drives.
You miss that.
Oh, I love being driven by you. It's so nice.
Jesus, that's so. It sounds creepy.
How do you remember?
I was there. I was
because you were too drunk to remember.
The best thing is he remembers the drive there. He just never remembers the drive home.
No, exactly.
Actually, if you guys don't mind, before we hop into voicemails, I got 2 quick questions.
Of course, man. Yeah.
Okay, so question number 1 is for Aries.
Oh boy.
Is staring at the ceiling the new Picarding? Because I haven't seen you Picard at all today, but I've seen you do this a lot.
Oh, it's just I'm a little stiff, so I'm stretching out my neck. That's what I'm doing there.
I didn't know if that was the new sign of like you've had enough.
Yeah.
I was noticing that Josh, and I was getting offended because he did it when I talked. He did it when Monster Zero's talked, and he maybe did it when fucking Johnny talked.
No. It was just the two of you, Johnny and Josh. Never did that.
That's fucking rude, by the way. I don't think I didn't notice that, Josh. Thank you.
See, that's what I figured. I figured you had to switch up your signs of disgust.
No, just kind of just stretching a little bit. There you go.
How
And
he's fucking,
I got a nice picture taped up there.
Oh, all right.
Cheryl Teague or somebody. Fucking what?
Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah. He's fucking Aries-ing. Yeah, fucking. There you go. Thank you, Josh. You're so fucking smart living in Coventry. I love it.
Smart.
No, Warwick.
Warwick. Yeah.
Wicked
That's
W.
a
Warwick.
drive from Providence.
Yeah. So my second question, and this is probably an even quicker one. After my rant a couple weeks ago, have any of you gone back to Shudder and watched the original Queen of Black Magic?
Not yet.
Nope.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I wanted to though. I haven't had the time. You know, I got issues.
It's
I
all
got
about the
medical
time.
issues. I got problems.
It's all about the time.
You know, I got a thing here. I got a thing there.
Yep. Yep.
But he watched Black Knight 3 times in a row.
Well, now it's on its like third run through Super Dave. So.
Yeah. He's gonna watch Super Dave Osborne. So Josh, actually, I did kind of want to ask you about that. So, none of us have seen the original Queen of Black Magic. Now, would you say that's kind of a cult classic, right? Is it safe to say?
Yeah. It is a little. It is definitely more on the obscure side.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely well known, especially from people kind of once you get into. I mean, I guess you would say like world cult cinema, you know, like because a lot of people start digging into like Asian horror and European horror. So kind of like once you get through the first layer of that, of all the popular titles, it is definitely a talked about movie.
So if someone has seen The Boxer's Omen, maybe they want to go down that path and check out Queen of Black Magic.
Right. I would say it definitely. They're probably on equal footing as far as like kind of reputation and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, whereas the filmmakers had previously tackled Satan's Slave, which was actually an even more obscure film in that genre. But I would definitely recommend the original Queen of Black Magic. And you know, as I not going on another rant, but as I had said before, with the exception of there being a character who could be called a Queen of Black Magic. That was pretty much the only similarity between the films. The entire original film is actually about a woman who had been who thought that she was going to get married to a guy who then immediately just turned around and left her because he had the opportunity to marry into money. And then when something goes bad on the wedding day, that guy convinces the entire village that she was mad at him, so she cursed them. And so that's kind of how that all plays out. So, like I said, it's very, very different. But I definitely think since you guys, like me, are of a generation that really appreciate physical effects and practical effects, that there's a lot of really interesting stuff done in this film, especially considering the relative shoestring budget that it had.
All right, yeah, I know. I'm definitely interested. Actually, I'm glad you reminded me because I actually kind of forgot to go back and watch the original. So, MZ, get on that.
I will tomorrow.
All right. When MZ says something, he's going to do something. He typically does it. So.
Yeah, somebody make Raven Shadow watch it.
Well, he's got to watch John Wick 3 first.
All right, okay, that's true.
Fucking try, Marion. Listen, this is what we're gonna do. Sunday, we're gonna watch. We're gonna wake up.
Don't put the mental labor on her, Raven Shadow.
Raven Shadow, you got to start writing down a to-do list.
Yeah.
Get yourself like a dry erase board, like I got back here, so you can keep yourself a to-do list, and maybe looking at the title of John Wick 3 every day will remind you to watch it.
Josh, just come over and do like an in-service. We'll go to every and we'll see what we can do. You can double mask. We'll just like walk me through how to be better. You know what I mean?
Can he do his telemarketing job from your place, Raven Shadow?
You got a fucking studio. I mean, you're gonna call Johnny to make everything work. But yeah, I'm sure you can fucking.
And by the way, I'm just kidding. Josh is not a telemarketer. I just when we first connected up with having the headset and like the clock behind him and the desk, it looked like like an office.
I have my wall calendar, and yes, I understand.
What are you wearing, Josh? Khakis. Terrible.
Yes, I just wanted to check in about that. And don't worry, if you guys don't get around to watching it, I understand. You guys have enough on your plate already.
Josh just won't ever call in again if we don't watch it. So,
like message me in private time. Be like, yo, bro.
Don't put the mental labor on Josh either. Jesus.
Why is it his responsibility to tell you
responsibility? Have some responsibility.
You all have responsibility to me. You especially
responsibility.
None of us have any responsibility to you.
We don't have no responsibility to you. You have responsibility to you. You take care of you.
You need to work on you, boo. But no, Aries has a responsibility to me, because of the path you led me down.
It's all your fault, Aries.
Yeah.
John, I can't help it if you followed me.
Listen, you were very enticing. You were the Pied Piper of not what Mars likes.
The Pied Piper of debauchery.
Yeah. And Johnny, you're producer, so that gives you have responsibility too. And Josh, you're from Rhode Island.
I have responsibility to keep the fucking show on.
Well, then
I'm not going to keep you on.
He's the producer on Wednesday. On what night is it? Thursday nights.
Also Wednesday too. I do a show Wednesday.
Different show though.
I have a responsibility because I live in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I like Rhode. It's my second favorite state. So.
Because it's the closest other state to your house.
Yes.
That's the only one he remembers.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember New Hampshire.
Anything further than that, then it's not his responsibility.
The sad thing is he almost had a valid point if he said that I have a responsibility because I recommended it to him. But no, he says I have a responsibility because I live in a certain state.
That's why I need you, Josh, because you are speaking what I am thinking, but I'm not communicating that enough. And I think we could be present together.
Josh, how does this not make any sense to you?
Raven
Josh, for the record, welcome to our nightmare.
Yeah.
Raven
Shadow, do you know that you can set reminders on your phone? Have you learned how to do that?
I don't know, man. I got my alarms, and I get confused.
Get confused?
Yeah, but I get bored. Then I get bored.
All right, well, you're not going to get bored with our voice messages, all right? So
please play a goddamn voice message.
All right, well, let's hear.
Josh, Sunday, message me, bro.
Please don't, Josh.
All right, can I message you?
Raven Shadow, let's go into the future. About 12 hours, 14 hours. And let's hear from Tim from Melbourne.
Unbelievable. Tim from Melbourne here again. Finally got to watch the Star Wars trilogy on the big screen after the snap lockdown. One of them was on the 35mm, but they used the 97 cut of the movies, so they didn't have too much in it. It still didn't have Hayden Christensen at the end, which got probably the biggest cheer. That job now, I don't know if I've got it anymore because I suppose I made a phone call that wasn't up to standard. One phone call. Yeah, that's how it happens. They've taken too many people over from the phones to put in this role. Yeah, at least I had an artwork sale at an exhibition at a group show on Friday. That was good. And I've finally got to watch Psycho Gorman for review. So that'll be coming up soon on the Impulse Gaming website.
Nice.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing Tim Chuma's Psycho Gorman review. All right, now let's go. We went to Australia. Now we're going to go down south, Raven Shadow. To the Dominican.
Oh, the DR.
Yeah, DR. Let's hear from Double D from the DR.
Greetings once again to my trick or treat peeps. This is your homie, Double D, calling from Double D's dastardly, decadent, and demented dormitory. God damn, the mood's just filled with alliteration and shit. Anyways, I'm here to give my 2 cents regarding the film of the week, Promising Young Woman. Well, firstly, I thought the film was a bit difficult to classify in the genre. I saw it as like an indie / dark romance comedy / thriller, if that makes any fucking sense. I absolutely love the performance of the leading lady, Carey Mulligan, I think her name is. And the screenplay does mix some really engaging dark humor with social commentary. But I didn't find the supporting cast to be particularly unique or interesting in terms of their development. I also felt that the film did a pretty good job of cleverly showing like the moral repulsion of sexual violence and the psychological toll that it takes on its survivors. But I think the attempts at the twisted humor often fell flat for me. Sometimes even like tone deaf, given like the seriousness of the rest of the material. And I did feel the film was very uneven at times. I guess I was expecting more of like the girl with the dragon tattoo or hard candy vibe in terms of elaborate revenge plots, but I never got it. You know, the unevenness of the movie made the plot a bit less engaging for me, and some of the attempts at the revenge got like a bit repetitive too. And the ending just also seemed to negate the film's tone from both a thematic and moral level. And it left me with more questions than answers, but not in a good, ambiguous way either. All in all, I felt the film was engaging, but not what I expected. So I would say, not a treat for me, fellas. Bam! Cut and print. What do you think about that movie review? Ebert or Roper, or whoever the fuck is doing reviews nowadays in Hollywood. Double D out.
Awesome, Double D. Well, it didn't land as well for Double D as it did for us, but we appreciate the thoughts nonetheless. And it's always good to hear your voice, my friend.
Oh, my goddamn, right? And he's not entirely, I mean, it definitely had some shifting tones to it.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I didn't really talk too much about. I thought it was actually like there was some pretty decent comedy in it, like dark comedy that like, you know, and I think it was done in a way that sort of like broke up the tension here and there. Like it was a nice reprieve, you know, at some of the points, you know, but I see what he's saying, you know, like it worked for me. I could see it not landing for others.
I mean, he actually mentioned something that we didn't really even touch on, well, not too much, but the romantic aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's actually a decent romantic story through half of this movie.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the interesting
play with Paris Hilton sing along and everything.
Yeah. The interesting thing about it was even though it was like there was a romance in it, you were almost waiting for the other shoe to drop in a sense because of what of who she was and what she was doing. So I thought that was an interesting angle to it because you were like, well, something's got to happen here, like, you know. So it was kind of you know, I thought that was an interesting angle to put into it. So it's not just this regular sort of like romance where you can just kind of go along for the ride and be like, oh, they're so sweet, you know, like you knew that there was something, you know. So I thought that was a good move. So, all right, we got one more voice message, and this is from our boy, First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. And I got some quick hit reviews for you tonight.
Nice.
Stuff I've been watching lately. Most of it's been reviewed, but let's go up to it. Porno from episode 408. This was a fun throwback movies to 80s and 90s, like teen sex comedy meet bloody, gory horror, and some really unexpectedly sharp dialogue and hints going on there that are a little bit darker than a lot of the movies from the 80s. But I found it very enjoyable, and the lady that played the succubus was gorgeous. A good 90 minutes, a treat. Parasite from episode 377. It took me a while to sit down and watch this movie, but it was well worth the wait. It takes your average con job movie and just takes it to a whole new level of manipulation and examinations of the haves and the have-nots that just spirals down into chaos, madness, and even worse. And it held my interest the whole time. I never had a urge to go check out something else. It kept my interest the whole running time. It was well worth all the accolades it has gotten. A treat. I caught in Pedagore from reviewed on episode 420. Indonesian horror has been pretty good lately. Satan's Slaves was pretty good. I haven't had a check to watch the remake of Queen of Black Magic. I did enjoy the original. I still mean to read that. Watch that. And it's a twisted exploration of a curse and its effects on a remote village through the years. It's a slow burn, but some really grotesque set pieces and gore and the ending was pretty good. I enjoyed the movie. I give that a treat. VFW, you guys reviewed it on episode 398. I'm biased because A, I like Joe Beagle's movies, and B, a lot of the old timers I'm huge fans of, especially like Fred the Hammer Williamson and David Kelly. And it was just a fun, bloody siege movie that we haven't seen in quite some time. I consider this part of the greatest Beagle's verse, especially from the Mind's Eye. And you could even stick the movie that had Ashley Bell, which I can't remember at the moment, but it is part of that fun universe he has created. Just classic throwback fun again. I give that a treat. Now here comes the one I really didn't care for. The Banana Splits movie, which again I had finally taken a chance just to watch it because at the time there was nothing else on. And I went in May and I came out May. I grew up on the Banana Splits in the 70s and 80s, and it was, if you want to make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie or even a ripoff, come up with a better movie. The Asylum can make something better. I've seen fan films with more heart than this movie. This is a trick. And then my last quick review of the night, The Editor, which I rewatched after watching Psycho Gorman. I also rewatched with Manborg, but The Editor really caught me. This loving tribute to Giallo movies by the boys from Astron 6. It has a ridiculous plot, great murder set pieces, a ridiculous plot, gorgeous women, scenes that make no sense. Udo Kier shows up into it in all his steel, blue-eyed, creepy, bulging eyes glory, and such a fun movie. Treat of the highest order. So, one trick, a bunch of treats, and a treat of the highest order. So this is another good episode of First Time Mike's Quick Hit Reviews. Episode 450 coming up, and I know I'll have something for you then, but until then, this is First Time Mike wishing everybody a good night. Bye.
Awesome First Time Mike. Thank you, man. Always great to hear from you, and love hearing all those reviews. Hit a lot of ground there. I think he did Porno, Parasite, and Pedagore, VFW, Banana Splits, The Editor. And that kind of leads nicely into next week. We're doing Giallo.
Yeah.
It's funny. Mary's been watching the porno.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, no, not like the genre, but the actual film. The film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. She loved that fucking movie, and I think it's because her ties working in a theater like the Aries did.
There's no "the" in front of my name.
The Aries.
And I also wanted to point out, you talked about Joe Bigos, Rhode Island's own Joe Bigos, right? Right, Josh?
Yeah.
Right, grew up right down the road from Josh. All right, so I believe that's going to be it because the iPad's dying. It's just after 11 now, so we are going to wrap things up. But Josh, I know this isn't the same as being in studio, but it was really awesome to get to hang out with you, man, being able to see you. It's been a while. We'll definitely have to do this again soon. Maybe we'll have to do another sort of like film like Dudes, because that was a lot of fun doing something like that.
Sure.
So maybe in the future we'll have you back. We'll do something, have you pick a film as well. So
just let me know when you want me back, and we'll sort something out.
all right, you got to put in the time off request from your job there.
No, I've just been auto calling everybody. Yes, we're here.
Also, Josh, where can people find your albums if they wanted to buy some albums off of you?
Actually, hold on here real quick. My main selling platform is a website called Discogs.
Yep.
DISCOGS. And my username on there is just J Gravel. So just JGRAVEL. And if you kind of Google J Gravel and Discogs, my seller page will come up. And it looks like right now we're sitting at 2,592 items in our inventory.
Holy shit.
So buy some of it up.
That's fucking crazy, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look. But yeah, it was awesome having you on, Josh. I appreciate you coming on and lending your intelligence to the film discussion. And it's always good to see you. So everyone go buy some albums from Josh on his Discogs.
Yep. And thanks for having me. It's always great to talk with you guys, and hugs all around.
Virtual hugs. Except Aries.
And
he doesn't like hugs.
Well, he'll take the hugs. He just won't give them.
That's the Aries.
The Aries. No, he gives the hugs. He doesn't take them. All right, so let's go around and say our goodbyes, starting with MZ.
Josh, good seeing you again, brother.
You too.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries.
All right. It's good having on. Good having you on, Josh, and goodbye.
Just to Josh, no one else.
Yeah, just to Josh. Everyone else ignore that. That's just Josh.
All right, Raven Shadow.
All right, Josh, for real though, I think you are the 13th step that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna message you over the weekend, and maybe we can figure something out how you can help me. Because I think with our powers combined, I could be better if you're involved in my life.
All right. Well, if you remember to message me, then I will send it. Then I'll answer you.
All right. Then the game is afoot. Then. Until then, I love you, brother. Hope you guys doing well. I'm glad you have you on. Please come back again soon. Live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on.
All right, that is going to do it for episode 449 of Trick or Treat Radio. We appreciate everyone tuned in for the live show, everyone who left a voice message, especially to our Patreon supporters. You guys help keep us going. We appreciate you, and we love you. And Josh, thank you, man. It was awesome seeing you, and it was a blast hanging out with you. So we'll have to do it again soon sometime for sure. And, well, that will do it. So everyone who's going to listen to the podcast, we also appreciate you guys as well. So next week, A Night with Karando Mitsutake. Send your questions in, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. See you then.